Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
And welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Yay! My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wisman, and I have missed you.
Oh, we've missed you. Yes,
Yeah.
we had a week off. Thank you guys for hanging, waiting for a week because we had to switch over from our old provider to our new Podcast One. Yes, so you can check us out on the Podcast One app and all that good stuff. Or your regular,
Podcast1.com.
just wherever you normally listen to us. We'll be there too, so don't worry about that. Nothing will change. Right. But hopefully we'll get a little extra exposure out of this. That's what we're looking for.
This is, you guys. It's audience expansion and finding more people to hear this. Yeah,
thank you guys so much, by the way, for your iTunes reviews and all that, because that's what helps get you noticed by people like that, by a Podcast One, by a company like that. But yes, please, and thank you for your continued support on Patreon. Thank you so much. We did sign with a network, but that
doesn't mean shit for bottom line.
We don't get like a signing bonus or a salary.
We don't magically have giant houses, and James has all the health insurance in the world.
No, I still have no health insurance and all that, and it's just a way to try to get exposure and that sort of thing. And they're really great, and Podcast One treats us like family.
It's unbelievable,
and it's really excellent to have that kind of support. So we couldn't be happier, couldn't be more thrilled to be with the fine people at Podcast
and hang
One.
in tight, because we're going to have some announcements of things you guys are going to be able to listen to hear us somewhere else. There are things coming down the road. So
we'll be promoting and trying to grow the crime and sports movement, you guys have got us to this point. So thank you so much. It's all you guys.
Incredible.
Crime and sports movement. You are the best. Yeah. And wow, do we have a wild story tonight.
Fantastic.
Wild story. It's been so long
I know.
Since we've been here. I just feel like it's been forever. Hope you guys enjoyed Bernard King 2 weeks ago, because that was the one where we've had the most people say that what? Bernard King?
He did what?
You have no idea how many people like, real. I thought he got busted for drugs or something like that, but I didn't know he was like raping people.
He was more or less wholesome.
No, he was sexually assaulting people just left and right.
I didn't know he punched his wife so many times.
Wholesale sexual assault at just a drop of a hat. But yes, we found out Bernard King apparently is an asshole and a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame with a squeaky clean Wikipedia page.
Unbelievable.
You would not know a goddamn thing.
But there was some editing done. I did see something.
Yes, I did see that. You guys,
and
you guys
on whatever
on your
date
game.
he did sexually assault a woman.
You guys are on your game, man. Absolutely on your game. We love it. Thank you guys so much. We have a even crazier story tonight, if that's possible. We have a wild story. Silver-haired, middle-aged white men running wild, running amok. We have a woman absolutely unraveling before our very eyes. Just more every day. Possible brain damage. You never know. Let's get into it. Let's get into it with Mandy Meloon.
Okay.
Very appropriately named with the loon part in there. Mandy Patricia Meloon. The name Meloon, by the way, I can't get out of my head. It sounds like something one of my Guido uncles would call boobs. It really does. It'd be like, look at the Meloons on this fucking one over here. This broad got some Meloon. Look at him. Oh, Maron. This fucking guy.
And
I can see that.
It's just a New Yorker that can't get a B out correctly.
No, look at these.
Look at these Meloons over here.
Look at the Meloons on this broad over here.
You just can't get the word balloon out.
That's what
hilarious.
But it's Mandy Meloon. She is a woof. Boy,
How
we'll
are
get into
her
this. This is not a Meloon situation. We'll put it that way.
I'm gonna Google it.
She's a tiny woman. Actually, she's real tiny. She turns out to be like 5'5", about 115 pounds, and a badass too.
Really?
She'll kick your ass, Jimmy.
She doesn't want you touching her Meloons.
This girl would, if you went near this girl's Meloon, she would beat your ass, beat your wheezy ass in 2 seconds. It wouldn't matter. She's a tough one. We'll call her. We'll say she's a tough broad. Let's just say that right there. Her date of birth here, February 15th, 1981.
Okay.
So she's relatively young.
Yeah, she's my age. She's
exactly
7 days younger older than me.
Oh, there she is. And too bad you guys couldn't have got together and found some common ground, Jimmy, because
just a week before
a woman for you here. Yeah. She's born in Germany.
Okay.
Actually, she's not German. Her parents.
Find her.
Yeah, well, no, she's been over here.
Okay.
Her parents were her father's in the Air Force.
Okay.
Her father went all around in the Air Force, was stationed everywhere. That's why she's born in Germany, but she's still an American. Mm-hmm. She moves all around. From what I could tell, she was in Hawaii in the very early 90s. She was, because she ends up fighting. She's a Taekwondo fighter.
Oh.
She ends up fighting out of Hawaii in the early 90s. And then after that, it's all San Angelo, Texas.
Okay.
It's all Texas after that. Brutal. She's from the Austin area.
Yeah.
Everything's around there. We'll find out. There's several police reports to back up her where she is and everything else later on.
That's brutal we know where to go is. To go from Germany to Hawaii and then fucking land in the armpit of the Gulf of Mexico.
I was always jealous of like those kids. You'd hear like on TV, "Oh, I'm a military brat. I've been all over the world," and I'm like, oh, "That sounds awesome." You go, "Hey, bastards!" Yeah, like
flying everywhere on my dime.
Yeah,
you son of a bitch.
It always felt like that would be a cool. I was just stuck in upstate New York, sitting in Wappingers Falls, New York. Like this
You're
blows.
freezing. I'm sweating my balls off in Phoenix.
Can somebody join the Air Force for Christ's sake so we can get out of here? Come on, Dad, get your shit together. So that's basically what happened here. They go all around in the Air Force. She moves all around, which that's a tough thing. I went to like a shitload of different schools as a kid and moved a lot, not out of state, but like all around the areas
from the law and
stuff. Yeah, you know it. So you kind of form a weird personality when you are constantly being introduced into a completely new environment. So I feel like that might have added a little bit to this, but we'll see what happens. At an early age, she starts showing real promise as an ass kicker in the Taekwondo world, I guess you'd say. She started doing amateur contests very early. I mean, very early on. She's, probably 8, 9, 10 years old.
She's fighting in Hawaii in the 90s. Yeah. That's fucking young.
It's really, really young. First of all, Taekwondo, just a short explanation if people don't know what the hell Taekwondo is, because when we did jiu-jitsu, it was like, what is this? Judo we did, I'm sorry. We did judo with the Olympians, so nobody knew what the hell it was exactly as compared to karate, or is this what Bruce Lee does, or what the fuck, basically. What this is, it's a Korean martial art, comes out of Korea. Basically, the emphasis is on head kicks, head height kicks, jumping and spinning kicks, and fast kicking techniques. It's all kicking.
It's all kicking.
There's no punching. It's just kicking.
Aimed at the head.
They're just kicking each other's. You see, they hop on one foot, kicking back, pop with your other foot, and you're like, good God, the balance on these people. Was it
Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat?
I think it was.
What he did?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's kind of what it is.
Bicycle kick.
That's what they do here. You can win by points. You can win by knockout. That sort of thing. Several decisions can lead to a win, including superiority. Withdrawal, just you're better. You go away. But I could knock her out. Nope, you're better. Go.
Doesn't matter.
Withdrawal, obviously, disqualification. That seems right. Or even a referee's punitive declaration. Punitive declaration. So it seems like a referee at any point can just go, "It's over. You win. Superior." If anybody asks any questions, just go, "She's superior. Fuck you."
Unbelievable.
So each match.
That's kind of a bullshit rule. You better prove that you're superior by making
like
them tap out.
I would imagine so. Or they can't really tap out. They'd have to be knocked out. Unless you wrap your leg around their head.
Didn't you say withdrawal?
You can
That's
quit.
A tap out.
You can quit, but I mean, like, you're not going to get them in a chokehold. There's no rear naked triangle, and they're going to tap rear naked choke, and they're just going to start tapping.
Rear naked triangle.
I don't know what the fuck it is.
That's good.
I'm just I'm throwing terms out here. I have no idea. Competitors in this, you have to wear head protector, shin guards, foot socks, forearm guards, hand gloves, mouthpiece, and males have to wear a groin cup, which I would imagine you would want if a man's whole object is to kick you repeatedly as many times as possible.
Wrapped in bubble wrap, essentially.
Kind of, yeah. It's all because it's you don't want to bang forearms and bang knees and bang shins, I guess, because it's
it's a fight.
It's a competitive thing. They're not in an alley, for Christ's sake.
I guess not.
They're not like, all right, if this goes the distance, we're throwing knives in there and see who comes out on top. Not one of those.
And if those don't work, we're dropping maces and fucking medicine balls.
And check out her balloon. Check out the Meloons on this one when she tries to stab the other one. It's kind of sexy. So. Like I said, early 1990, she's living in Hawaii, and I know that because she is fighting out of Hawaii on July 14th through the 16th of 1994. She's fighting. She is in the 14th Junior Olympic Taekwondo Championships.
At 13 years old.
13 years old.
Unbelievable.
She's in the 13 to 16-year-old black belt group.
So she's in the bottom because she just turned 13.
Yeah, she's the youngest of the group, and all these are black belt badass Taekwondo people. This is at the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago, which is a really big arena. Like they used to hold the Survivor Series there.
Is that right?
The WWE, yeah. Like
Hilarious.
the first 2 Survivor Series were there and shit like that. It's like it's a big. I think it holds 15,000 people. This arena.
And that's where she's fighting.
That's where she's fighting. Amazing. I don't think they're filling that
At
joint.
13 years old. I've never done anything for that many people to watch at once. That's amazing.
So we'll see. I don't know. So she ends up winning first in her division, in her weight class, which is the Fin division, and that's the weights. They go Super Fin, which is like 100 pounds, and then Fin, which is 115. It's all in kilograms. It's very confusing, but that's that. And then there's the flyweight and all that.
Okay.
And I hope there's a super flyweight. That's what I want. What weight are you?
Those
super
are the fun ones.
Super duper fly. You know it. So her first international appearance was in 1995 in Manila.
Good Christ.
Yeah, in the Philippines.
She is 14 years old and she's flying to the Philippines.
To Manila. That's
I'm
amazing.
Jealous.
Yeah, that's cool as shit,
That's
isn't
amazing.
It? Yeah, she does. It's wild, man. I was shocked by that myself. I'm like, you're
incredible.
in Manila fighting it. Hey, I got to go to Manila and fight. You're 13 years old. Like
it took Ali into his 30s to do that, late 20s, whatever.
I couldn't do my math homework when I was 13 years old. Never mind, like I got to be in Manila. I'll be back soon. That didn't happen at all here. 1995, she has a hell of a year. I mean, just a hell of a year at 13 to 14 years old. The U.S. Open Taekwondo Championships of the flyweight, she wins a silver. The U.S. National Taekwondo Championships, she wins gold in flyweight. U.S. National Taekwondo Team Trials, she wins the gold in the flyweight. So she gets on the U.S. National Taekwondo team out of that. That goes and fights in the World Championships and everything. And then the 1995 U.S. Olympic Festival on the flyweight, she wins gold again.
My God.
So that's 3 golds and a silver, in case you're keeping track.
This girl's a badass.
In 1995.
At 15 years old. 14.
At 14 years old. That's the kind of, so she has talent and she has ability and she has obviously desire and want.
And a fast fucking foot.
A fast-ass foot. And to want, you have, even if no matter how much you train, no matter how much you want to fight, anybody that's ever fought anybody or even sparred, just messing around with boxing gloves on and headgear, would spar with somebody, you have to have a certain desire for it, or else you can't just throw a lazy jab out there. You have to want to cause damage to the other person for it to work.
Now let me just make sure I'm thinking right. She's only fighting girls, right?
Oh, yeah. This is female. There's female and male divisions.
All right.
Female and male. And this is, I feel like, a lot of times, too, especially as teenagers, because you see this in boxing a lot, in like Golden Gloves fights. Some people at that age, they'll be the same size and the same everything and the same skill level even, but some people just have an aggression. They have an adult aggression that the other people don't have yet. And that was like Mike Tyson's thing when he was a kid and beating the shit out of everybody in the ring was... These guys were bigger than him, half of them. Most of them were actually more skilled boxers, but they couldn't.
They're just not as angry.
His aggression was too much for them.
Just
and
mad.
You have to be able to match aggression, and she is very, very aggressive. Like I'll talk about a fight later on what I watched of hers, and she's super aggressive.
Why is she so fucking mad?
I don't know, but she's angry.
Yeah,
she's an angry.
She is pissed.
We'll find out later. She has a reason to be angry at something, but for now, I don't know what happened. I don't know if she's mad. She didn't want to move. She had friends that she didn't want to leave, and they're yanking her from Germany to Hawaii to Texas, and she's like, I'm not doing this.
Right. She just figured out the language in Germany, and they're flying her ass to Hawaii to figure out Tongan.
14, maybe
whatever they speak. I realize it's English, but
definitely not Tongan. I'm pretty sure of that.
Saying,
that is probably
some sort of islander
1,000
shit.
miles away. 1,000. That's really far. Super far.
I saw Moana, and I'm just assuming that there's some weird shit going on.
Fuckload of ocean between those two particular places.
I've never been to Hawaii.
Neither have I. Looks great, though. I'd like to go there.
Okay,
I don't want to have to fight her, though. 96, again, she's ripping it. 96 U.S. Open Taekwondo Championships, flyweight division. She wins the gold. The 96 World Cup Taekwondo Championships, this is the world. She wins bronze in the flyweight division.
She's third best in the world.
Third best in the world at her weight division or weight class at age. 1996, same thing. U.S. National Taekwondo Junior Team Trials in the bantamweight, which is another one. She wins the gold in that.
Because she was pissed about that bronze.
That's the thing. thing.
You bet.
Yeah, and then also wins the gold at the U.S. National Taekwondo Championships in the flyweight division. So she'll go up and down a couple of pounds and kick people's asses still.
That anger hangover just keeps going.
It does not stop with this girl, and it will continue throughout our entire story.
Really?
I promise you she will never get less angry, ever. Only more angry, as a matter of fact, and taking it out on people that you just wouldn't expect.
Okay.
It's like, wow, that didn't seem necessary, but okay. 96 still, U.S. National Taekwondo Team Trials in the flyweight division, wins gold. World Junior Taekwondo Championships in the Bantam division, wins gold, and the Pan American Taekwondo Championships, wins gold in the flyweight.
Fuck.
Holy goddamn shit.
She's a bad woman.
So, I mean, this is...
Not even a woman. She's a bad teenager. She hasn't even got a period yet. Now she's got a period.
She's got a period. Yeah, I would think. I would hope so. Someone's at least kicked the period out of her way now. So got it, you know.
Kick-started that flow.
Yeah, got to kick-start it a little bit, I'm sure. I don't know how that works, obviously. I have no idea how your reproductive systems work, ladies. I apologize for that, but I'm
sure somebody broke her hymen with a kick, though.
Kick your period into action. I figure if women are like, I haven't had my period, I don't know what's going on. Like, will you kick me in the stomach and see if it starts going? I think that's what they do with each other in the bathrooms.
Kick her in the shoulder, I'm sure it'll start.
I think that's what they do, and they're like, will you go to the bathroom with me? They're kicking each other in the stomach to start their periods. That's what I think happened. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on this subject, obviously. So, 1997.
Yeah.
After she turns 16, she travels with the national team to Cairo for a World Cup tournament. Cairo, Egypt, which is wild. Remember this trip because this is going to come up huge later on, this trip, very specifically. She's 16 years old, just turned 16 in March of 97, as we know, because she was born in February.
Going to a country where they historically treat women like shit.
Yeah, she doesn't have to worry about the Egyptians.
Okay.
No. She's got people close enough to her to worry about.
To treat her like shit.
Yeah. She also wins the silver in the World Cup Taekwondo Championships flyweight division. These are all going to be flyweight except for one. U.S. National Taekwondo Championships, gold. U.S. National Taekwondo Team Trials, gold. Mexico Open Taekwondo Championships, that's the bronze. Denmark Open Taekwondo Championships, gold. World Taekwondo Championships, flyweight. She wins the bronze in that. Kicking ass all over the world.
Everywhere.
All over the world. Just everywhere. This is what I mean. She's going all over the world at 15, 16 years old.
Podium finishes everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
Fucking
She's
amazing.
just a badass. She's a killer, this girl.
I wish I was good at anything as good as she is at this.
That's
this
the thing.
Is fucking incredible.
Yes. Have you seen? No, you haven't because you don't have HBO. God damn you, Jimmy.
I have HBO.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I just don't watch this shit.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Have you watched the Defiant Ones, the documentary series? No. It's great. It's about Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine and how they come together to form the things that are on your head right now.
I think
and
I have
they start
seen
from the beginning
when they say that how he found Eminem. I've seen that portion.
Yeah, this is the whole thing.
That's all I've seen. And it was a YouTube clip.
But there's in this video, in this documentary, they show Dr. Dre on his mixing board.
Yeah.
And he's mixing. He's got a Marvin Gaye song from the 70s, and he's just doing his thing and touching things and mixing it. And it's like, I love watching people who are amazing at something.
Just good at that.
Do it.
Yeah.
Like watch. Have you ever seen YouTube Gordon Ramsay chopping an onion?
Yeah,
it's remarkable.
Shit like that is unbelievable.
You're just like, wow, that guy's so good at that. I could just watch him chop onions all day. He's just so skilled at it. I'm impressed with that shit. So I'm impressed with this as well. Here, 98 all gold medals again for this girl. I mean, she is kicking ass. World Cup Taekwondo Championships, gold. U.S. National Championships, gold. U.S. National Team Trials, gold. U.S. Olympic Weight Division Tournament, gold in the flyweight. Gold, 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 gold.
She could smelt this shit down and fucking just make shit.
Yeah.
Make jewelry.
She can be like Scrooge McDuck or whatever with just on his pile of coins. She's doing great, sliding on in there.
Yeah.
1999. This is when she comes across some people who are going to be in her life for a long time and be of a lot of interest to this story. She begins training at the Elite Taekwondo Center, which is, at the time, they had a Houston based. There's a bunch of these. They have 6 locations in California, all over L.A. and Anaheim and all sorts of different places. But this was in Houston, Texas. It was owned in part by a guy named Gene Lopez. Now, Gene has a brother named Steven Lopez, who is one of the kind of the legendary Taekwondo fighter that the U.S. has ever had, kind of a thing. That's his brother. He's the good one. They also have a sister named, I believe her name, we'll find out later, but I believe it's Daisy. And Daisy, she also is like a legendary Taekwondo fighter. A little brother, Mark, who's a legendary Taekwondo fighter.
They're like the Gracies.
Gene is the Fredo. of the bunch.
Oh.
Gene is he tries, but he never wins anything.
He's the problem.
And then he just starts coaching. Because he's like, well, I guess I'll just coach my brothers and sisters. Yeah, he's like, I'm smart. I want respect. And then he's like, I'll coach you. I don't care. I can do things. Yeah.
Not like everybody says.
That's what happened here with Gene. Gene is Fredo of this
crew. That's the best quote of any movie ever.
I love that.
I'm smart.
I want respect.
The way he says smart.
The way he says
that,
yeah. I like his
dumb.
upward respect.
Yeah.
I want respect.
I deserve respect.
So, Gene is the Fredo. He did silver at the 1995 Taekwondo World Championships. So that is one thing he did do, but after that, just didn't really work out for him like it did for his brothers, as we'll get into. Their Olympic golds just dripping off of them. The Lopez's altogether, like they own, like I said, Gene owns a part of this. They are known as the first family of Taekwondo.
Okay.
They're the Kennedys of Taekwondo. They're the Gracies. They're whatever family you want to put in. They're the Mannings. They're the first family of Taekwondo.
Gotcha.
So Mandy, is starting to get some pub.
Okay.
She's starting to get some heat behind her. It's kind of impressive. You're like,
getting some Meloons.
She's getting a little Meloon in her pocket, couple Meloons in her pocket. You know what I mean? You could use Meloon for anything, by the way. It's like Smurf. You can just use it for any word. Hey.
Like Smurf.
Yeah, see this fucking guy? He owes me 10 fucking Meloons. Get over here. Like, you could use it for anything.
A drill sergeant, drop it, give me 10 Meloons.
10 Meloons out of you. Only thing come out of Texas are steers and Meloons, my friend. Like, what? Anything.
That's so good.
Use it for anywhere.
I like it.
June 1999.
Let me get a large drink and what do you say, 2 Meloons?
Let me get a couple orders of Meloons. What do you say? No, man, I want them fresh too. Put them in the fryer now. Don't give me the ones that have been sitting out.
Get a baker's dozen of Meloons.
I don't like the ones that are sitting out. All stale Meloons. Almost stale Meloons. What's wrong with you?
I like my Meloons,
fresh.
Crispy.
Crispy Meloons. You know how it is. Beautiful. So, the June 1999 issue of Black Belt magazine, and yes, I am reading June 1999 issues of Black Belt fucking magazine, and I have to say to you guys, thank you so much for your Patreon contributions because it allows me to do shit like read newspaper articles that are buried on things that I now I'm like paying for all these different things I can use. It's awesome. I have all these resources. It's great. So thank you guys. Your money makes the research help.
In this for some Meloons? How much did Meloons cost?
I believe in the back of the book next to like the X-ray glasses and the little what are they called the
Meloons.
The Meloons, yeah, the sea Meloons. The little seahorse Meloons that go there. They had them back there. There's a big Meloon sale. Huge.
Hilarious.
Huge. Black Belt magazine has a big feature on U.S. Taekwondo, and the writer here, Herb Perez, who I'm assuming, since he writes for Black Belt magazine, is a foremost expert in Taekwondo all over the world. And Meloons. He knows it all. He calls Arlene Lemus and Mandy Meloon as the 2 female Olympic hopefuls with the best chance to medal. So she is being put out on a national stage here at 18 years old as she, in this sport, for a female, these 2 are our best hope to medal. Her. So this is going well right now. Things are going well. June 7th, 1999, there's a crazy thing in one of her fights here. She's in a fight in the World Taekwondo Championships. It's taking place at the University of Alberta in Canada. And she is dragged out of the ring by what everyone assumes is an upset U.S. manager of the team, pulls her out of the ring, carries her out because she's small, and so she was disqualified from it. Turns out the manager, it wasn't the manager, but it was a, quote, interested American party there as an observer.
What?
Who tried to, quote, derail a blatant injustice that was being done to the U.S. contestant. So he dragged her out of the ring. Rather than have her lose by bullshit, he was like, we're just going to get her disqualified. This is bullshit. What ends up, the rules here is only the action of the contestant or their coach can give cause for disqualification. Okay. Like, what if I didn't like her? I can just jump in and carry her out of the ring, and now she's disqualified, and my person won. Yeah. I mean, if you had that, betting would be ridiculous to do. So they do that. So a third party entering the ring is considered a security violation, and it's the hosting organization, not the athlete or the coach, that's supposed to get them the hell out of there, and it's their responsibility, not the athletes. It's whoever's hosting this. Yeah. Basically, what ended up happening is she made 2 of what everybody thought were 2 very clean points on her opponent, and neither of them appeared on the board. Now, her opponent was from Chinese Taipei and made 1 point, but was awarded 2. for the one. There was some just mistake in scoring. Instead of registering that and that, they registered.
So they like clicked a click for the Asian girl. Where was she from?
Chinese Taipei. Chinese.
That
Jimmy,
sounded racist. I wanted to clear
Where's the
that
Asian
up.
girl? Where's that Oriental girl? The Oriental girl. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Click one for the Oriental.
The Oriental, give her a point. She seems like she needs it.
So somebody hit that button instead of hers.
Yes, exactly.
That's what it sounds like.
Just give it to the nice Oriental. She has a disadvantage. The other one, her eyes are twice as open. It's just not fair. It's not fair. I don't know how they're good at this. That's the person, I think, that's saying that. Her master was her coach. His goal was to object to this, and he wanted to have the match replayed from the first round. And apparently the referee made a bad call and just disqualified her when that wasn't part of the rules. Yeah. But once it's done, it's done. There was an arbitration committee, and they just backed up the referee to make it easier. Ridiculous. So anyway, 1999 U.S. Olympic Pan Am Games team trials. She wins the silver in flyweight. Okay. And the U.S. National Taekwondo team trials, she wins gold in flyweight in 99. Spring of 2000. Oh, boy. Spring of 2000, we have the issue of U.S. Taekwondo magazine features Mandy on the cover.
How fucking, real quick.
Yes.
She is 19 years old, and she's already been fighting for 11 years.
She's already been fighting for like 11 years. She's on the cover of magazines. She's being touted by, magazines I've never heard of before today.
At 19, she has done something for longer than anything I've done at 36 years old.
Amazing, right?
Straight.
Yeah,
this
incredible.
Is crazy.
Yeah, she's doing, that's what I mean. She's doing amazing. This is, the magazine here is, quote, a publication of the United States Taekwondo Union. So this is...
They got a union,
They got a union. I have no idea, but I will tell you how you can get that magazine if you really want to later on, because I found a copy of it online. Because I'm not a punk here. I'm doing my shit. 2000, Mandy begins dating Gene Lopez's younger brother, Steven, who I told you about, who's a huge legend. They begin dating in 2000. That year, Steven goes on to win gold at the 2000 Olympics in Sydney.
How old is he?
He is younger than her. Gene is, I'm not sure exactly Steven's age. Gene is 7 years older than Mandy. Okay. And Steven is younger than Gene. So he's less than 7 years older than her. We can put it that way. He's 6 or less years older than her.
Gotcha.
So 2000, so she's dating a gold medalist now in this whole thing. She has a great year herself, too. U.S. Olympic qualifying tournament. She wins the gold. U.S. Olympic Taekwondo team trials. She wins bronze. Team trials, U.S. national team. She wins gold. Pan American Taekwondo Championships. She wins bronze. So she's still medaling everywhere, kicking a lot of ass. 2001, U.S. Open, she wins gold. U.S. Team Trials, she wins gold. Argentina Open Taekwondo Championship, she wins gold.
Trifecta of gold.
She loves gold. Her boyfriend's winning gold. Yeah. She's just draped in gold. This
it's
woman.
Everywhere.
Yeah, it's all over the place. 2002, this is the World Cup in Japan. I actually saw, there is not a lot, as you might not know, but like Olympic qualifying round tournaments. There's not a lot of that is really on video from 20, 15 years ago, that sort of thing. But I did find some here. Okay. I found her in the first round of this tournament fighting Wu Yan-ni of Taiwan. I don't give a shit if I pronounce that wrong. I know nothing about Taiwan. Wu Yan-ni, I also did some research on her. She's 28-10 total in competition overall. So she's a tough chick. She's a tough chick. Before the fight starts, they do their bows, like they do a little bow to each other, and they bow to the judges. It's a whole thing, and then they go back and they say fight, and they go into each other. She unleashes a Dotzik, Vyacheslav Dotzik-esque woo before she starts.
What?
Like they square off, and she's like, bah! And then she's like goes in there. She's like this. The other girl's a lot taller.
Maniac.
Yeah, she's just like, bah! And then she starts kicking away. Like it looks even crazier when someone follows a woo with just wild, crazy kicks at your face, like 4 at a time. Like, Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, man. She can do that thing, too, that they all do where they can hop and kick at the same time. Like, they can chase you while on one foot kicking at you with the other.
And where was this at?
It's insane, man. This is in Japan.
Okay.
The World Cup in Japan.
She could have been shouting at somebody.
No, she's just looking at the girl.
Says woo in
and
Japan. man.
You could see her face, too. She was just trying to be like, wow. Like, they told her, like, yeah, get your energy when you go out there.
Maybe she thought that was the person's name.
Maybe. It's her name is Wu, actually. Her name is Wu Yen Ni, so you never fucking know.
Right.
Like, wow. But it wasn't even really a woo. It was like a bah. It was like one of those. It was
like a growl?
It was like Dotzik's post fight where he just went, yeah, that's what she did. It's so weird.
There was a video, real quick. Did you see that video of Dotzik? Somebody posted it to my page on Facebook.
Every video of
Somebody
Dotzik.
posted a picture or
many.
An article to my page about it was somebody like filleting him for being such a great fighter for somebody that had terrible mental illness. And in that
I'm pretty sure
video,
that's in our episode we talk about it. I'm pretty sure.
In that video there was a clip of the
Yeah, that's the crazy.
That's the nuttiest shit I've ever seen.
Someone asks him a legitimate question and his answer is and then he walks away. You're like, that's nuts. I don't think that's what he was asking. I don't think that's right.
I don't think that's a normal response
to any question. That is not a normal response at all. She ends up losing to Wu Yen Ni. Very close thing. I think it was 5-4 or 4-3, whatever the totals are in that. I haven't put that to memory, but one of those.
Whatever
she loses.
The point system is.
She loses in the first round, and then she wins her next 3 fights in the tournament, because I guess you just fight the 4 fights no matter what.
Right in a row?
Yeah, I guess it's not like a NCAA tournament where it's like elimination. Yeah. It's more like at the end, I don't know if they count up points or wins or however it goes. Her next 3 fights are against Lana Benelli, Svetlana Noskova, and Un Suk Jang. They all sound like Glow characters, or Un Suk Jang. Yeah. They all sound
I'm sticking with Suck.
They all sound like gorgeous ladies of wrestling characters.
Sounds hot as shit.
Svetlana Noskova.
Yes,
that sounds like
I want to see her calendar.
That's a woman wrestler from the 80s. That's exactly. These are gorgeous ladies of wrestling characters.
Glow is amazing.
That's
I used to watch it all the time.
It's a good documentary on Netflix, and I got to say the show on there with Mark Maron, not too fucking bad. It's pretty. It's pretty goddamn entertaining.
I will watch.
Maron's pretty funny on it. It's good shit. All the ladies are good actors. It's good shit. Very well done.
Anyway,
moving on. Meloon here reminds me of. She's like Sally McNeil plus Brett Rogers, you know what I mean? Divided by like just a Tommy Morrison nutbag. Like she's that sort of thing. And we'll find out her similarities to Brett Rogers later on. She did not grab anybody's cock in jail. That's one thing she didn't do. But she did other shit in jail. We'll find out. She ends up here winning a silver in that tournament, in the World Cup tournament in Japan, where she beats Svetlana, which sounds like a...
she beat her?
That sounds... Yeah, she won... Mandy won her next 3 fights. She won the silver.
I was rooting on
I know you were. You wanted to see her. You wanted to see her out there. You just want to see her in the world.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, where can I get some more of that Svetlana?
I'll bet she became an American gladiator.
Probably.
She probably
Maybe
did.
She was. You never know, Jimmy. Actually, she's small, though. She's like 115 pounds if she's fighting Mandy. But she ends up going on, Mandy does, in the 2002 Belgian Open, or Belgium Open. It's not even Belgian. It's the Belgium country Open. Open country. She wins the gold there. And the U.S. team trials, she wins the silver there, both in the flyweight division. 2003, March of 2003, to be more specific, Black Belt Magazine is all up on her dick again. All up in her business. Black Belt Magazine, man, I have become an avid reader of Black Belt Magazine. Let me tell you something.
All over her Meloons.
All over her Meloons, man. Just shots of her Meloons all over the place. They say that Mandy has a good shot at the Olympics again this year. Also, who will also be in the Olympics is Diana Lopez. I thought it was Daisy. It's Diana Lopez, the little sister of Gene and Steven, who's also on the team with her, which makes this all the more weird what ends up happening here. That year, 2003, U.S. Taekwondo Championships, she wins the gold in the Finn weight class. U.S. Taekwondo Team Trials, wins the gold there. Still kicking ass. She does not make the Olympics. 2004, Jean, though, her coach, is a coach for the U.S. Olympic team in Athens. And here, she's still with Steven Lopez. They've been together since 2000. Now it's 2004. Steven goes on to that Olympics and wins his 2nd gold medal that year. So he is now 2 gold medals in a row, which apparently isn't a common thing in Taekwondo that they're saying. So it's, later on he goes for his 3rd, and it's like an unprecedented 3rd, I would assume with age, you'd probably get less good at that sort of thing.
Your agility starts to slow down eventually.
Yeah, I can't imagine being like 46 years old and hopping up and down on one knee while kicking with the other.
I don't know, man.
Tear an ACL in 3 seconds and they have to drag you off the mat.
The fucking Brussels guy, what's his name? The one that could do splits on chairs and shit?
That's true. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, he can still do that shit.
That's true.
There's a commercial of him doing splits on a semi.
Yeah, no, that's true.
On 2 semis.
Well, it's on a commercial, so it must be true.
No, but that shit
he
really
can
happened.
Do that. He can do that.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
They really had him do that shit.
He can
That's
actually
bananas.
do that shit. No, but this, I don't think most people are like that, though, probably. You know, this, just to be able to hop around like that, I feel like you kind of, it favors the youth, I would think,
just
the sport.
Just to fucking support my childhood dreams of being able to do that one day, I want to believe it's possible.
It's possible,
because he was amazing to me.
Oh, he did most of the stunts.
Him.
He's a crazy monster,
Yeah.
old Jean-Claude there. So 2005, she World Taekwondo Championships, wins the bronze, first place in the national team fight-offs, whatever the hell that is in 2005. So she's still kicking ass. 2006, wins the Dutch Open, gets the gold there. First again in national team fight-offs. So she's beating the shit out of teammates.
She's fighting it
the
off.
Dutch, the Belgians. She doesn't give a shit who you are, where you're from. She will put your Meloons in her Meloons right in your face and put you down. Now, May of 2006. Here, let's do this now. Grace.
Okay.
That's Grace. That's Grace, okay?
All the golds are hers.
She's famous, lots of golds. Yeah. You know, she's upstanding things. She's on the U.S. national teams and all this shit. We'll call this Grace. This part is not her fault that we're going to talk about now. This isn't a fall from Grace, but kind of the result of it. I feel like she lost her fucking mind from here. 2006 in May, Mandy complains to USA Taekwondo that Jean Lopez in 1997 in that tournament in Egypt that she went to when she was 16, after she just turned 16, if you remember that, in Cairo, she says that he forced himself on her during that tournament. Now, from this just comes, this has taken the dam down of like U.S. Olympic. We all know now these Olympic villages are it's teeming with VD.
People are fucking
each
everywhere.
Other. It is gross in there. Like, it is disgusting. Just too much. It's too much.
They ran out of rubbers in, what was the last one that Phelps was in?
Beijing? No, Phelps was in. I don't even know.
I think it was Beijing.
Okay, Beijing,
it was definitely Beijing. I'm pretty sure it was Beijing. The village ran out of rubbers and people were losing their shit.
I bet. Yeah, they must have been.
That's fucking crazy to me. How do you run out of rubbers?
These people fucking
and they
enforcing
have
themselves
tons
on
of
people.
rubbers.
They start talking all about the drinking that they do and underage drinking on these trips and coaches allowing shit they shouldn't allow, and it starts to get real silver-haired middle-aged white man.
Salt Lake City. That was the one.
There you go.
It was the winter one.
Well, no wonder why they ran out of condoms in Salt Lake City. They're trying to get you to reproduce. You need to have 14 kids. What do you need condoms for? We didn't think anybody used them.
I don't care that you're from Kenya. Fuck everybody.
Those are from like 8 years ago. Some idiot put an order in. He just clicked the wrong box.
I can't believe those didn't stick together.
He clicked the wrong box. We were looking for comics, and then he clicked that. I don't know. We got those. No comic books, though. Batman did not come here. So, in 2006, she files this grievance.
Batman did come there.
She did, big time. Files, as we know from...
fucking gross.
He's got kids all over Salt Lake City. She files a grievance with USA Taekwondo that details the alleged incident in Cairo here, and we'll get into that in detail in a few minutes here. She calls for Lopez's dismissal as a national team coach and requested a women's coach for the women's team.
Yeah.
That
should have been in the first place.
That makes a lot of sense to me. And not to be like, oh, men can't coach women, women can't coach men. But when you're talking about going on the road with these people and doing that,
other countries, not just on the road, not just going to like Kansas.
Yeah.
You're going to fucking Egypt.
And Jean is only 7 years older than her.
Yeah.
So when she's 16, when they were on that trip, he's 23.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's too close in age when you have alcohol around and everything else. I don't want that guy coaching my fucking daughter either.
Catch a Predator.
Yeah, I don't want that guy coaching my daughter with alcohol.
23-year-old dudes show up every time to that Chris Hansen house.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, hey, what's up? Yeah.
Just here to mentor a kid.
Brought some pizza. I don't know. It's cool. So anyway, there.
Why is your dick out, sir?
No, it's just for the pizza.
I was just going to tell her,
pizza tastes better when your dick's out. You ever heard that before? It's pretty cool.
I was just going to tell her she shouldn't meet weird people on the internet. That's all I was going to tell her.
It's my dick. It's like an extra taste sensation. It's like it's like smell.
I was just going to show her that this thing is why you don't meet people on the internet.
Dudes will come over with their dicks out and a box of pizza in their hand. It's really weird.
There was one that literally that was
weird.
What the guy said. My cousin went out and met somebody online and she got assaulted. So I was just showing up here to tell her that story, and I didn't want her to get assaulted.
Couldn't have told her over the internet.
Why did you send her a picture of your dick then?
Couldn't have chatted that up with her at all, huh? Didn't think so. Wow.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Jesus Christ. That Vice has one where some guy goes out and yells at people. He's like Chris Hansen if Chris Hansen was like just a white trash dude that's like, the fucking scumbag. He's trying to fuck kids. He's fucking kids. It's the greatest thing in the world.
That's what I want Chris Hansen to do.
Oh, this guy does. He'll chase him. He's like, I'm not a cop. You can do whatever the fuck you want, but you're on tape fucking kids. I'm going to put it on the internet, you kid fucker. Jesus. Why are you sending pictures of your dick to 12-year-olds,
That guy's trying to get shot.
He is, too. He's right in their face, and they're like, no, it's not that. It's not that. Every guy to a man walks away.
Unbelievable.
There's a whole thing on him on Vice, which actually we'll talk about Vice a little later because there's a Vice network connection to this, too. This shit gets deep, Jimmy. Awesome. This shit gets crazy. So anyway, she filed this. She wants him dismissed. She was not believed by anyone in USA Taekwondo. They all dismissed it. There's a guy, last name of Askenas, and we're going to talk to him a lot. Askenas. We're going to talk about him a lot, and he's an asshole. Yeah. He said that there was a 3-month investigation in 2006 that concluded that Meloon's allegations, quote, weren't credible and that there was no reason to fire Lopez. Okay? Not that his brother's the star gold medalist and all that kind of shit, and we want to rock the boat and blah, 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 but that's what it is here. Now, Lopez, like I said, maybe it's he said, she said at this point until other people come forward, which also happens,
Lopez
obviously.
is doing it constantly?
Let's see what happens. Right. Let's see what happens here. Lopez is, we'll say. Lopez, at this time, he was a competitor still and a coach. He denied the accusation, and they said in March of that year, his contract had been extended, and they decided that Meloon had no merit in her complaint and basically told her tough shit. Now, January 2007, this was in May of 2006, she reported it. January of 2007, she comes back to train at the elite Taekwondo gym in January of 2007.
Why would she do that?
Because there's nowhere else to train at that high elite level. Right. If you want to do that, that's where you have to go.
You only go to the one that's called elite.
That's it. There's no other one because that's where that's the new U.S. national team. That's where they all go. So you have to go there. Now, she said what she would. One caveat to that was that she would not be alone with Jean Lopez. Okay. That was her thing. Now, mind you, Stephen and her and Mandy did not break up until she filed this case. They were still together when she filed this in May, or maybe they just broke up and then she filed it, or they broke up because she filed it. We're not sure which, but either way, this did not go well.
Their relationship dissolved around the time that she reported
It's going to be a little rocky after this point, your relationship. So January 2007, like I said, she's back at the gym. Now, February 5th, Meloon, Lopez, and that Askenas guy completed the signing of a document stating that, quote, any and all claims related to the issues previously raised by Ms. Meloon had been, quote, fully and finally resolved. I don't know what that document is, but it's basically a document saying you say he didn't molest you, and he says everything's fine, and then we all just pretend it never happened.
We all say we're good now.
We are collectively we are good now. You want to talk about a silver-haired middle-aged white man? This Askenas guy gets people together to sign documents that you didn't rape her and she says she didn't. Like, what that's silver-haired middle-aged.
That's bananas.
That's fucking hardcore, man. That's worse than like a college coach or something like in football. This is crazy.
That's like a coach going to a house where a guy just raped sorority girls and having them all go, yeah, he didn't rape us.
No, it's fine.
That's
we're
crazy.
Good. Yeah, we'll sign a document. Sure. Can I give a statement? So March 2007, she's fighting. She's at the gym training. She says she suffers a broken facial bone during a national team qualifying event in Dallas, which is amazing because she finishes the fight too with a broken facial bone and wins the match to qualify for the World Championships. So that's,
how many points do you get for breaking somebody's face?
I don't know
Clearly
if you
not
extra.
Enough.
I don't know if you should probably that one of superiority. The rest should probably go. You broke her face. You win. That's
you are so superior.
So you have less whole facial bones now, so you're less superior. Sorry. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. So she's first in that. That's the national team fight-offs there for the World Championships. Now, she says because of this injury, she couldn't really practice for a while because her face is healing.
Tough.
You don't want to get kicked in it.
You don't want to spar with broken face.
And the thing that's the best thing you can do in Taekwondo is to kick someone in the face. That's the most
best thing you can do is break somebody's face.
That's the best. So you don't want to have your face broken. So that's then 2007, day of April. So the month before.
Taekwondo literally means break face.
Break face. Maybe that's what that Korean symbol meant. Break face do means the other thing. Yeah, it's perfect. So she is, that happened in March, the facial bone. A month goes by without her being able to practice because of the facial bone, and she is kicked off the team in April, the very next month. kicked off the team while she's prepping for the Beijing Olympics for 2008.
I feel bad for her right now.
Yeah, and this was, according to them, this was for making threats against a fellow teammate on MySpace.
What?
We all remember MySpace, social media from 10 years ago. By the way, her MySpace pages and her MySpace postings and her social media in general, we'll get to her Twitter feed later.
Really?
And her Facebook. It's fucking entertaining.
Really?
Whoa, man.
Is it?
Whoa.
All right.
There's a picture
We'll get there.
Of her in MySpace. It's from right around this time, so
Yeah.
might as well bring it out now. She posted crazy pictures of herself on MySpace. Not crazy like they're nuts.
Right.
There's just a lot of them.
Yeah.
One of the pictures, she's got her Meloons out. Not out, like exposed, but she's sticking them out, which is fine.
Yeah.
And she's got worship me written on the picture, like she's making this face, like she thinks she's hot shit.
If you don't worship me, I will break your face.
Then there's another picture, and I have a feeling this will be the, if you look on our social media.
The advertisement of the show.
At Crime and Sports, this will be the thing that you're going to see. So do that. Follow us at Crime and Sports on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. It is her sitting on a toilet, fully clothed, with jeans on, sitting on a toilet with big high heel shoes, smoking a cigarette, looking at the camera, leaning forward, sitting on the toilet with shoes, and it's the weirdest picture. You look at that and you go, that's odd. That's a little white trashy.
Chairs?
Yeah, it looks like the cover of a Courtney Love album. You know what I mean? That's what it would look like. If she just what the fuck
cover of Hole.
That's what it would be. That's what you would expect.
Hilarious.
Yeah, sitting on the toilet with a cigarette. That's what I expect out of her. Shitting through a hole in her jeans. She didn't even have to take them off. So they kick her off for what they say are threats against a fellow teammate on MySpace.
Okay. Was the threat I'm going to put you in this toilet and sit on it so
I
you
think
can't
it was.
get out?
I am going to poop on top of your head and then smoke until you drown.
Right.
I'm going to shit and then drown. It's a shit and drown. That's how it works. So April 24th, 2007, this is when this happened. They make a statement, Jean Lopez, and Askinas.
I don't give a shit how you pronounce him. He fucking sucks.
He said that her failure to practice was grounds to drop her from the national team.
She had a broken face.
She had a broken facial bone. That's what I mean. I can't imagine.
Insincere asshole.
I can't imagine if it was Diana, Lopez, the little sister of Jean Lopez, who broke a facial bone. I doubt they'd kick her out for not training for a month or not sparring for a month anyway. So April 30th, 2007. Let's just keep escalating it.
Yeah.
You say this, I say that.
Yeah.
You kick me off, I'll file a sexual battery complaint against
Fantastic.
you. How's that sound? So Mandy files a sexual battery complaint against Jean Lopez based on the 1997 episode.
Yeah.
She files it, though, in Palm Bay, Florida, where she is living at the time. Now, the whole thing, apparently, a police report said an officer and a detective talked to her and told her to contact Colorado Springs police because Meloon and Lopez and the team were based there in 1997.
Okay.
So that was their technical addresses. Yeah. So she said you should do it there because it took place in Cairo. So it's not anything that's,
you got to
the Egyptians aren't going to give a shit. Yeah.
Otherwise.
They don't care.
Right.
So she ended up not filing a complaint in Colorado Springs. We never find out why exactly, but she does not file a case there. She is pretty goddamn distraught about this whole thing. She told a newspaper on April 30th of that year that she did not think she could compete at the World Championships because of both her injury and the psychological and physical stress of being, quote, homeless and broke. So now she's saying she has nowhere to live.
20s?
And she's broke.
In Florida.
And a couple of years ago, she was, on a cover of magazines. Yeah. She was winning gold medals that year. She was first to go to the World Championships on her team. She won that. There's no reason for her to be homeless and broke. It's ridiculous. She should be training. She also was demanding, again, that Jean Lopez be kicked off the team and that a female coach replace him to be, quote, someone the girls can go to with their concerns. Which is fair.
That's legit.
There should be at least a female coach.
Yeah.
Even when you're getting arrested, if you're a woman, they bring in a female fucking officer.
Right.
Even then, they do it. These people aren't getting arrested. They're Olympic hopefuls that, are going to represent our country. So maybe let's not let them rape each other.
Right.
Let's just say that. So, not that anybody raped each other. Yet.
We don't know.
Yet.
Right. Okay.
Now, here's where we get into episodes of underage drinking and allegations of sexual assault. Because they blow up at this point. This is when people start talking.
Starts talking.
She's not the only one.
Really?
A couple other people talk about it. A bunch of the junior and national team members blame lax supervision by the governing body, which is the USA Taekwondo, based out of Colorado Springs. Their chief executive, guess who? David Askenas.
Yeah.
Gee, wonder why he's so... Wonder why he's so quick to try to get rid of shit and make everyone sign a statement saying everything's fine when he's the fucking... Of course he knows. He's as silver-haired, middle-aged as possible.
He's so involved.
Just make it so all you people keeping me propped the fuck up.
You guys keep breaking
on your
faces.
broken facial bones. That's right, and your sexual assaults and every other fucking thing you do. But your brother won a gold, so it's fine. Wow, it's not even you sometimes. It's your brother getting off on shit. Wild. He said that 19 months into the job, he has instituted a, quote, zero-tolerance policy on underage drinking and sexual harassment and increased supervision of minors at overseas tournaments, which is complete bullshit.
Shouldn't that be like a given?
Yeah.
Why do you have to start that policy?
If you're going to take teenagers overseas...
That should be like
keep an eye on
unspoken. You don't even have to say it.
Yeah. My daughter's 15. She goes on school field trips where they stay overnight. They go to San Diego or whatever.
They don't even have to say no drinking because I don't
have to go up to the teachers and go, hey, can you make sure they don't drink and no 7-year-old older boys rape her? Can you make sure that happens,
make sure nobody
please?
drinks or fucks my daughter?
Is that possible?
Why do we have to say that?
Can you protect her Meloons? Is that possible? Keep an eye on her Meloons for me. He says, Askenas says that he doesn't believe there's a problem with underage drinking or sexual harassment of younger athletes by coaches or older athletes. Everything's fine. We're good now.
Then why'd you have to have a moratorium on it,
Don't know what you're talking about. That's when he came in. Hey, under my watch, none of this shit flies. Don't know what happened. He wiped his hands like a casino card dealer. I don't know what happened, but clean. I'm over. I'm done.
And walks away.
He says, quote, we have coaches and team managers and trainers keeping an eye on them. We make sure they know where they are so they're not out gallivanting around the town. I use my word my grandmother used to use all the time.
I hate that word.
They don't go places alone. We may always make sure they go in a group. Well, that's fine, but if they're going to rape each other, then they shouldn't be in a fucking group. He says they're very tightly supervised on the road. We have obligations to their parents. You said one correct thing there. You have obligations to their parents. The rest of it did not support that.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that was not the conclusion of what you said. You didn't say, here's my supportive and my conclusion. That was just, here's bullshit based on bullshit. Unreal, man. It's a 20-person national team. They take athletes as young as 14 years old. So at this point in 2007, there were 3 underage athletes on the 16-person senior national team, and there had been more and less in the past. They go back and forth. One of the members, Kay Poe, who we're going to get into, and doing some research on her online, she apparently led, and I don't know if this is true, but there was a lot of sources that said later on in life she had a tough go of it for a while with some drugs and some. People said she was a stripper and all this type of thing. But
you know who usually does that kind of shit? People that were sexually abused.
Sexually abused. Yeah, that sort of happens. There's a couple people like that. Few of these women on this team go from like all this training and Olympic and all this to trying to get their lives together at another point. And apparently Kay ends up getting her life together later on, and now she's like a buyer for a large retail store and does a good job and is doing fine for herself. So good for you, Kay, coming out of this shit. She says she's a member of the U.S. Taekwondo team in the 2000 Olympics. She had a fight. This is an interesting thing, too. She had a fight against Mandy to get into the Olympics. And she broke a bone in her leg during the fight, but finished the fight and ended up winning on judge's decision.
Fucking Danielson.
Yeah, and she ended up letting her friend on the team take her place and going because she couldn't compete anyway.
That was in
a lot of fluff pieces.
Sydney, right?
Sydney. Yeah, absolutely. From Kelly Lane, episode 64 or some shit like that, where she kills numerous babies. Anyway, moving on here.
We learned that water polo is not a tough sport.
No, it's not. This Kay Poe was a national team member from 96 to 2003, so pretty much around the time Mandy came in. She says, quote, whenever you have 15 or 16-year-old girls hanging out with 20-something-year-old guys and you're drinking and everyone is not themselves, there's going to be problems.
Yeah.
It's a party thing. Whenever a tournament is over, the whole point is to drink and let loose from all the training.
Is that the point?
Apparently. I did it a lot. I did it almost every tournament.
Wow.
So you train, and you probably have to stay pretty, healthy.
Lean,
and then you have the tournament, and apparently you go off and you're like, fuck
binge.
it. Been training for 3 months. Now it's binge time, and bad things happen here. In this article about this whole thing, they speak about a trip that happened 13 months earlier to Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, where they went there, and 6 of these current or former junior national team members said that they participated in or witnessed underage athletes drinking during the trip to Ho Chi Minh.
Nothing good. No story that is a positive story has ever started with in Ho Chi Minh.
In Ho Chi Minh, exactly.
Nothing has ever been good that happened there.
Guess who was with them, keeping an eye on them in this trip?
Was it that fucking suck-ass?
It was a silver-haired, middle-aged Ask-an-ass and Sheen Lopez. They were the people in charge there.
Two dickheads.
Yep, and this was just in 2006. There's an Amelia Morrow. She's a 15-year-old junior national team member at the time. Says 15. She says she saw all the others drinking, but she didn't join them. Which,
good girl.
I don't know if that's true or not, but whatever. She says she didn't. She said, quote, there were a bunch of people. The coaches backed off. Once everyone was done fighting, they were like, we're done. The coaches, she said about the coaches, they, quote, don't really care about us. They want good results. They want their room, and they want to go to sleep.
And then they throw us rubbers and tell us to have a good night.
They're silver-haired, middle-aged white men. They want to set it all up, make sure they get glory, and then let them go run amok. And who gives a shit? Doesn't matter. I've already got mine out of this. Who cares? I'll stick up for whoever is going to make me more money or more prestige or whatever it is. Cody Stranger, who was 17 at the time, said that he and other teammates drank at the hotel bar in Ho Chi Minh City at an after party earlier in the night, attended by athletes from other countries in the tournaments. They were just hanging out, partying, teenagers in the bar drinking, and nobody said that was anything, whatever. Cody said he snuck out of his room after midnight and drank at the bar for a couple hours. He said, quote, it was just kids being dumb. It wasn't the coach's fault. The coaches had already done their responsibilities and had expected the team to follow the rules. Sorry, you're 17. You don't realize that the part of their responsibility is to make sure you're not in a fucking bar at 17 drinking with a bunch of other kids in fucking Ho Chi Minh City.
That's so crazy.
You shouldn't be an unsupervised teenager walking around Ho Chi Minh, number one.
Did you ever walk up to a bar at 17 and buy a drink?
Fuck no.
I never, I did late. Like I was 19 and 20.
40s from like the store with the foreign guy who doesn't give a shit. Who doesn't card you.
The guy from fucking Israel that's just like, get out of here, kid.
I don't care. He's
the
shawarma
dog.
You want shawarma? I give to you. I don't care.
Shawarma or Mad Dog? Which do you want? That's all I have.
You take Crazy Horse. You buy special Crazy Horse today.
That's all I have.
$1.79, very cheap. High content.
I'm positive that Mad Dog 2020 and Mickey's Big Mouth drinks were only bought. Nobody that's of age buys that shit. It's only children.
Unless that's all they can afford.
Right.
No one buys that.
And Four Loko. That shit's bought by children.
No one pays for that with a $100 bill or like a platinum card. That doesn't happen. So
and says keep the change. Never.
So the next morning, the team flies from Ho Chi Minh City to Hong Kong on the way home. During the layover, the Cody Strange guy says that coaches knew that some team members were hungover, because they were very hungover, and punished them by making them do push-ups and sit-ups before their flight back to the U.S. But that's their punishment.
Right.
Yeah.
Your hangover is punishment, not... And I'm gonna punish you for being. If they weren't hungover, he wouldn't give a fuck.
No, that's the thing. He just said this is pretty obvious. You can't handle your liquor.
It's time for you to do push-ups.
Obviously, everyone in the airport's seeing a hungover group of kids. So
kids in geese dragging their luggage,
heads down. God, puke breath.
So
Jesus,
gross. The worst.
Ask said that, quote, somewhere between 4 and 6 junior national team members were involved in the drinking during the Vietnam trip, and said that the punishment was under his self-proclaimed zero-tolerance policy was appropriate because they were all just first-time offenders. So this is all just a few kids that never had a drink before, apparently. This is not
that's why they're hungover.
Systemic. This is not, that's why they're hungover.
This isn't a problem.
They're not pros. He says, says, quote, that was the only competition for the junior team that year. Removing them from the team would have been a meaningless gesture because they were done. The coaches felt the punishment and lectures that we had were appropriate for a first offense. But there's another thing. Cody Stranger says again, quote, it was one of those workouts to punish us. We deserved it. It makes you think twice about screwing up at a function where you're ambassadors to America. You're supposed to be an adult, not a child. He's worked with a PR agent.
Yeah.
This guy.
Somebody wrote that shit.
Hardcore PR statement here. Problem is, Cody backs this up here. Neither he nor the coaches told their parents about this.
What?
No one told their parents about this. They were like, we'll keep it between me and you. You don't keep anything between you and you when you have other people's kids. You let everybody know everything.
That's crazy. They put out a public statement, and they were like, make sure your parents don't read that.
Yeah, there's more. Simone DeVito, who's a 19-year-old national team member at the time, former junior national team member, she said underage drinking was common. She said, quote, every trip there's been underage drinking. I've definitely seen it happen. I just try to stay away from it.
Wow.
They say... Do they ever stop the underage drinking? And she says, well, quote, before the trip, they always say, let's keep it conservative and appropriate, but I don't think they follow through.
Let's keep it conservative.
And appropriate. I don't think they follow through. I don't think they follow through at all. It's said, but they don't either check up on us or they won't correct someone if they ever saw something happening.
That's the kind of shit you say to your drunk uncle at Thanksgiving. Let's keep it to 2 bottles this year.
Let's keep the political arguments to a minimum, okay? Let's calm down. They spoke to the United States Olympic Committee, and they said that the sports governing body basically is responsible for assigning someone to supervise these athletes here at the training centers, and they don't. There hasn't been a USA Taekwondo hasn't had a resident athlete program there since June 2004 when it was shut down by the Olympic Committee, citing a slew of problems, mismanagement, and financial woes included. And
that was Gene that was in charge.
That was a different. Right? That was the resident athlete program.
I got you. Okay.
Also, like we said, along with drinking, there's a few allegations of sexual assault or situations that put younger girls in close contact with older male teammates or coaches. Crazy. With alcohol around. Kay Poe said while underage drinking, she sometimes had sex with older national team members. I mean, obviously, we all know whether they consent or not. It's illegal to have sex with minors. It doesn't matter. She did decline to identify any of her partners. She didn't want to throw people under the bus and that sort of thing. Who knows? Several national team members said it was common for them to move among the hotel rooms assigned to the U.S. squad without being supervised by coaches. So they're just going back and forth like some kind of French farce, just in and out of doors.
This is fucked.
Room keys, fucking each other, drinking back and forth.
So crazy.
It's crazy. I'd love to see a security camera of the hallway of just them in and out.
The Benny Hill music playing.
That's Simone DeVito. No shit. This Simone DeVito says something that is actually a chilling thought to hear from like a teenage girl saying this about this. Quote, if you're not watching for yourself, nobody else is. You have to make sure you're okay.
Oh, my God.
No. Silver-haired, middle-aged assholes that are making a living off you should make sure you're okay. You're a fucking child. Teenager. You shouldn't have to make sure you're not going to get raped by a 24-year-old guy who's supposed to be in a position of authority over you. Fucking insane, man. And guess what? Mandy wasn't okay.
No.
She wasn't, because she said that Lopez acted inappropriately toward her on that trip. She said he acted inappropriately toward her when she attended a camp at the Olympic Training Center when she was only 13. He said she was inappropriate. Don't know exactly what that was. Then said after she made the national team and moved to this Olympic Training Center at 15, he also was inappropriate. In March 1997, when they went to Cairo, like we said, she said that she was asleep in bed. This is according to the police report here. Mandy said she was asleep in bed when Lopez knocked on the hotel room door. Mandy and Kay Poe had twin beds that they pushed together to make a big bed, and they were sleeping on opposite sides of that. Okay. Lopez apparently came in and crawled in between those two in bed right away. You're in your 20s. They're she's at least one of these girls is 16. Fuck that. Mandy said that Jean Lopez groped her and then went to the bathroom and then left the room. So I don't know if he groped her and then he went and whacked one or whatever. We have it in their own words on this whole thing. Our first in their own words here from Mandy.
He just glazed right over.
You never know what he's doing in there. Who knows? She didn't say how long.
Jacked one or whacked one?
Whacked it out. And I don't know. I think he at least just, he had to go throw down, I think, a little bit.
He's tugging for sure.
Absolutely. Had to go rub one out. So, and in their own words, quote, I did not like it, and it was wrong, and he knew it. I should have just got up. I didn't want to get in trouble. He was the captain of the team. That's her in their own words, which is fucking sad to hear.
The captain just gets to do whatever he wants to everybody? That's fucked up.
She said she didn't say anything because she was afraid, because she was a younger member of the team.
This is a problem.
Yeah, this is an issue right here. This is a problem. This is going to be
You should be able to fucking speak up anywhere. Anytime when something bad happens to you like that.
That's why she called for a female coach on the team, probably, that you can go tell at least her and feel a little more comfortable and, whatever. But Lopez here, he says he wasn't drinking that night and can't remember if he entered Meloon's room. First of all, you don't say you remembered if you entered two 16-year-old girls' rooms and slid in bed with them, unless he was doing this with everybody. That's the other thing. He says, quote, I was never inappropriate with her. Never did I put her in a compromising position. Could I have been in their room? Sure, but I could have been in anyone's room. She's painting a specific picture that I went into her room and molested her. That part is absolutely not true. So he's basically saying, I go in people's rooms and crawl in bed with them all the time. Then who knows? But I didn't molest her. It doesn't fucking matter. You crawl in bed with my 16-year-old daughter and you're 23?
Kill you.
Holy shit, am I going to murder you? Wow. It's not even fucking funny.
It will escalate to violence in a minute.
Yeah, that's what could have been in bed with a 15-year-old girl at 22. Yeah, of course. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Horrible.
Could I have been the first man to walk on the moon? Possibly so.
This sounds so much like Michael Jackson's interview. What do you mean it's not okay to lay with... It's not okay to lay with an 8-year-old?
I just feel like he thinks he's like hot shit. That's what I mean.
Normal.
It's like, yeah, it's normal. He's just,
fuck you.
Could I have been the man? I could have been the first guy to walk on the moon. It doesn't matter.
Just lay together.
Anything's possible.
Fuck you. That's gross.
I am Gene Lopez. Anything is possible. He's the Mexican pimp now. That's who he is. Gene Lopez, the Mexican pimp.
Bastard.
Poe, who seems like she wants to stay out of it, Poe said that she fell asleep after Lopez entered the room and didn't witness. If I'm a girl and a guy crawls in bed next to me, I'm going to stay awake to see what happens. I don't know that I'm going to
be able to fall asleep.
Exactly. She says, well, then again, they might have been hammered, though. That's the other thing. She says she didn't witness any inappropriate conduct with Mandy, but she also...
I just saw the Billy Madison part where he goes, did you fall asleep or did you pass out? He goes, shut up! I don't know why I just saw that in my head.
Shit pops in, man. You can't help it. Kay Poe says she did remember Mandy discussing the episode at the time. Poe says it was like 10 years ago, and I don't remember that night at all. I do remember her talking about it. It wasn't like she was all scarred. It was like a joke. Like, I can't believe Gene did this, like making fun of him. But I don't know if that's what you do when you're...
Is that a coping mechanism?
I don't know. Yeah, to not be the weirdo, but to put it out there like, is this normal? And if everybody laughs rather than goes, oh my God, you go, I guess it's normal, and then you just laugh about it.
If it's not a bunch of white faces that are shocked, then it's just like, I guess this is normal.
I've never been a 16-year-old girl who got groped by an older man, so I don't know how that works. She didn't report the team, didn't report it to Cairo police or anything like that. He was 7 years older than her.
Here's the part that I'm having trouble with. Like... So when I was 25, a friend of mine had a 12-year-old daughter. I met her when she was 12, and then she grew into she graduated high school. I know her through high school. I have yet to look at her. Friends, family have said, look at her, she's grown into a beautiful young woman. I'm just like, no, she still looks 12 to me.
Yeah, that's the thing.
How can this guy look at her, even at 18, and be like, she's hot?
This is 16.
No, that's not hot.
Well,
you've known her since she's 13.
Not a matter of that, too. You're in a position of prominence over her.
Yeah, that's the other point, too.
It's ridiculous.
You're her guy.
Yeah,
you can't fucking rape your...
No, she's supposed to be able to look at you as someone she can trust and turn to and talk to, and you're a coach. You're supposed to be a mentor to this person.
Terrible for her.
This is more than coaching. She's not going for lessons every other day. They're living in a training center. This is your mentor.
I would still see her at 13. Like, look at her face and be like, you're a child.
So May 14th, 2007, she says, you know what? I want back on the national team. Has an arbitration hearing about it, seeking reinstatement. On May 14th, the arbitrator, Lawrence A. Sachek, rules against her, finding that USA Taekwondo was justified in dropping her from the team because she had stopped training and made derogatory statements about USA Taekwondo officials, coaches, and team members on a website. She was talking about getting diddled. That was the point. That was if you get diddled and talk about it, you're saying defamatory, you're saying negative shit about them, derogatory. They put it.
That's terrible.
So you're out. It's ridiculous. They cite the USA Taekwondo Athletic Code of Conduct that says, quote, one will maintain a positive attitude and act in a way that will bring honor to oneself, the staff, and sport of Taekwondo, USA Taekwondo, and the United States of America. Does that count? Feeling up the 16-year-old girls while you sneak in bed with them. Holy shit. But they do, Sachek also orders USA Taekwondo to pay for the hearing that's going on. She doesn't have to pay for her costs, and they have to pay everything, and also criticized USA Taekwondo. He said, quote, this arbitrator hopes that the USOC and the USAT do not abandon Ms. Meloon as a result of her recent actions. She was, in essence, raised by the USOC and is a product of their system. Ms. Meloon's core message went to the protection of young girls in the Olympic movement who could be exposed to situations that are inappropriate and potentially damaging. One would hope that this message is not lost and young children are properly supervised, protected, and educated. One would hope that the USOC takes a serious look at this level of social interaction between coaches and athletes and underage drinking by its athletes. Holy fucking shit. Oh, my God.
So they sided with them. in kicking
but
around.
Said, get your shit together.
Figure out why the fuck she has the problems she has.
Yeah, because an arbitrator said technically she broke the rules, so she's out. But you guys keep your shit together. It should have been like, because I don't think that, sending one of them to jail or something is part of the deal. Like, and he just said it was either her on or off the team.
Right.
And then he can also say, hey, get your shit together. He also says, although Miss Meloon must be held accountable for her actions, one must wonder about the culpability of the system as a whole. Exactly.
Yeah. If she's a product of the system and she's fucked up, then your system's fucked up.
You've had her since she was 13. So guess what, assholes? Yeah. She's had nothing. She's been in nothing but you guys 24 hours a day. Guess who has a dispute at this? Guess who is pissed off that this arbitrator would even utter the words that they need to keep their shit together.
Is furious.
It is Askenas, our old Askenas, dickhead, silver-haired, middle-aged fuckwad. He said, quote, about the arbitrator, he made the mistake of accepting her misrepresentations as dead accurate facts. He ruled in our favor before we even began cross-examination. And then she says, we never had a chance to cross-examine her on those facts. What are you going to do, rip her a new asshole about being diddled?
You're going to call a victim a liar, you dick?
Yeah. Now, Mandy at this point says she wants to compete at the 2008 Beijing Olympic Games. She's a two-time bronze medalist in the World Championship, so she's, saying she wants to train.
Yeah.
Now, after that, Mandy says she will seek other avenues to continue her dispute with USA Taekwondo and former coach Jean Lopez. She's not giving up at this point. She's 26 years old. She's, in the prime of her whole deal here. Yeah. She hopes to spend time in Europe visiting family and getting back on her feet financially, but then plans to return to the United States and eventually enter the world of Taekwondo coaching. Okay. She wants to make a difference and be the female coach, kind of like Kirkland's, who played, who was in the X-Men movie.
Okay.
Or was in Wonder Woman, I'm sorry, his coach.
Yeah, the girl. What was
kind of like her. Yeah, I cannot remember for the life of me now because I'm so...
Woman lived under a boat.
I'm reading Black Belt magazine here. It's very difficult.
Another woman that was homeless and got it together.
It's another one that was homeless and got it together, yeah. As for future competition at the world level, she said, let's do it in their own words. What do you say here? She says, in their own words, quote, the only way I will compete is for another country. I will not compete for the United States after what they've done to me. I have major concerns about USA Taekwondo. Things won't be better unless Jean is removed and there's a women's coach and someone the girls can go to with their concerns.
I like her.
Perfect. That's the right thing to say. Yeah. She said that she had been allowed to compete. Had she been allowed to compete in Beijing, she would have forfeited her matches and announced that she was doing so to protest the federation's treatment of female athletes.
Wow.
That's what she's saying. So now she's like, fuck this. Yeah. She held it in. Now she's like, I'll burn this motherfucker to the ground. Now, we don't know. Honestly, we have no idea at this moment if she's just bitter, if she's like, I'll go after your little brother if you break up with me, with Steven, or if who knows, but so much extra shit comes out, I believe pretty much whatever she's saying about this stuff because of everything that comes out later. She, again, at this point, describes herself as broke and homeless. Later on in this month, she ends up taking up residence at a women's shelter in Houston. Oh, God. So never mind Europe. Unless
she couldn't even find a boat to live on.
No. Jesus. Unless the women's shelter is named Europe. I don't think that she got to Europe.
All right.
Now, before the 2008 Beijing Olympic Games, Steven Lopez, the talented older brother, the Michael of the family. The
one that's not diddling.
Yeah, the Michael of the... Well, let's find out about that. Let's not jump to conclusions quite yet.
At this point,
he is before the Olympic Games. He's in a Coca-Cola ad. It's a promotional campaign. It's called the Six-Pack, Coca-Cola's Six-Pack.
Okay.
That also included LeBron James and Shawn Johnson.
The adorable little girl?
Yes, other U.S. Olympians.
So cute.
Yeah, so he was
She's
in that.
She's a badass.
She is a badass because he was a two-time gold medalist that was going for his third, so they put him out there. He's also, too... his younger brother Mark and sister Diane are also competing in this Olympics. Yeah. This makes them the first three siblings to compete in the same discipline for an Olympic team since 1904.
Wow.
1904. That's incredible. So the family they are the Mannings of this deal here.
No doubt.
What's more also, too, you know who the Olympic coach is in this whole thing? It's Jean Lopez.
Really?
They made Jean Lopez the coach of the Olympic team after all these allegations. Mark wins silver. That's the youngest brother. Yeah. He wins silver in the 68 kilogram. Diana wins a bronze in the women's 57 kilogram. And Steven wins the bronze also. Wow. Nothing for Fredo. He gets no fucking gold, but he did coach them.
A thing.
Anyway, but he's I'm smart. I want a medal. So
you got respect.
Definitely. Now, after leaving USA Taekwondo, she is kind of just adrift. Yeah. She goes from Houston, where she had been based, and ends up in Austin. where she claimed she was living on the streets at one point in the late 90s.
That's not a town to live on the streets.
No, it's not. We were there
for... you don't want to live on the town in there.
No. As a matter of fact, do you remember 6th Street?
Is that the one with the exit that we got off on?
No. It's I think that's
over by the airport.
No. 6th is the one when you're going up from the airport and we were handing out people trying to get them to come to our podcast at the South by Southwest Festival. Where we bought the pizza in the bar. So that's like a party street. I mean,
it's insane.
They closed down the middle of it. Yeah. People were openly selling weed in the streets. I got
suckers
edibles. So it's a wild place. In September,
cops walking by. Shit's dead illegal in Texas, and cops just walking by. These guys are
they're on horses because that's the cool part. And actually, a horse comes into this this incident here. She's not homeless at this point in Austin. She's at with a friend on 6th Street at a bar in Austin, and her friend. They're outside. They're shit faced. Her friend decides to go pet the police horse.
What the fuck?
Which you're not allowed to fucking
do that.
Now, police officer explained that touching the police horse was against the law.
Right.
Leave him the fuck alone. You would go up to a cop and rub his nose.
Right.
I think is what they were getting at.
Want a carrot, officer?
Yeah, here you go. Sugar cube, come eat it
Brought
out
you
of my
an
hand.
apple, sir.
So, obviously, if I'm out with you and you try to pet a police horse and the cop goes, hey, you can't pet the police horse, that's illegal. Clearly, I would walk up and try to physically attack the police officer, correct?
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
I'm defending your honor. That's Mandy's deal. Mandy gets up and attempts to attack the officer. She's yelling.
How dare you, officer?
How dare you? She's yelling at the officer, telling her that she is a world-class taekwondo athlete and she will fuck him up. And how fucking dare you? And don't tell her shit and get out of my face.
Damn it.
She's drunk and ready to kick some people, okay? So Mandy's friend drags her away from the altercation and just tells the officer, look, she's had a lot to drink. Yeah. I'll get her out of here. I'll get her home. I'm very sorry.
She's dragging her Ringo away. He's just drunk.
Literally,
that's all.
She's just drunk. It's exactly dragging Tombstone, dragging Johnny Ringo away. She's just drunk. It's cool. Everything's fine.
She says, don't you want to play for blood?
I said, come on. I do it. I'll kick you so many times.
I want your blood and I want it right now.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it. Fucking dragging him out, old Johnny Ringo.
Unbelievable.
So she breaks free from her friend, runs back and tries to attack the officer. Yeah. She again starts telling him that she's going to kick his ass because she has a taekwondo background, blah, blah, blah.
It's Johnny Ringo.
Before hauling off and spitting in his face.
Oh, shit.
She spit in his face.
That is assault.
At that point, he restrains her down on the ground in the cuffs, back of the cop car, the whole deal. So
he's like, somebody give me a cop car down here. I can't put her on the back of this fucking
I'm surprised
horse.
She didn't just lay her across the back of the horse and trot away with her. Like, that would have been fine. She's fucking nuts right now. It's fine. She's to spit in someone's face. How angry are you? Unbelievable.
You got to get really mad for that shit.
So she's tossed in the squad car. She is arrested for harassing a public servant and like a minor assault. Like for spitting in the face of a police officer. So that's not terrific there. That is 2009.
This is her first visit to jail.
That's her first visit to jail. She'll be back many times. January 14th, 2012, she's arrested again in Austin, Texas. God. This time it's on a warrant for a traffic violation. So she just didn't pay something and God knows what happens. And they arrest her for that. So responsibility is not her main strong point at this point. March 1st, 2001. Okay, Mandy's looking for a place to live in Austin. Mm-hmm. As we know, she's been arrested. She's altercations. She's looking for a place.
She's 20 years old.
She's
2001?
She's 31.
Oh, 2011.
2011. I'm sorry.
2001.
This is 2012, actually.
Okay.
March 1st, 2012.
Life is unraveling.
It's unraveling. She is looking on Craigslist for a place to live.
Fuck.
She's trying to find a room in a house or something.
No.
She's looking for she's like a college student. Yeah. Looking for a room somewhere.
In her 30s.
In her 30s. She finds a room in a house on Burns Street in Austin. It's in North Austin. She moves in early March. Pretty much immediately after she moves in, she with the roommate whose house it is, they begin having verbal arguments immediately. Like it's 2 days into this arrangement, it's not working out. He says that Mandy allegedly threatened her and saying that she was a taekwondo expert and could, quote, kill him with a snap of her finger.
Jesus.
Okay? So at this point, the guy who rented her the house said, why don't you move out?
Yeah.
When someone threatens to kill me with the snap of a finger,
I'll bet she didn't even say with the snap of a finger. I'll bet she said, I could kill you like that.
Like that. I could kill you Meloon style.
What was that? There's a movie where a guy does that, like that, and then the guy behind him goes, like that.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember what that is. Is it Raising Arizona?
Probably.
Maybe? I think it might be John Goodman and his little partner there in Raising
like
Arizona.
that.
Someone will
I can see
hit us
her
up
doing
with
it,
that.
though, all pissed off, and she's doing that shit.
So, I mean, he just was like, okay, I can't deal with this. She's fucking nuts, and she's
Why don't you
violent.
move out like that?
Like that. Yeah, you're violent. You're out there. So on March 8th, she comes home after a night of drinking.
Yeah.
And she's hammered and apparently physically threatens him again.
Jesus.
He tells her that she needs to leave. Her response is to kick him in the face. Right in the face. So I've been
so fast.
So yeah, he was probably like, "You need to get out." Blah blah blah.
What the fuck
happened there?
Where
Jesus
did your
Christ.
Adidas come from?
My God, Jesus,
That was
wow,
fast.
that's amazing.
You're in your 30s and
there's
you're
a piece
quick.
of gum stuck to it. It must have been on the street before you came in. I don't know. It's on my face now. Kicks him in the face. So he calls police. When they arrive, they arrest him for assaulting her.
What?
Okay. He got kicked in the face.
Yeah.
But it's a situation that happens a lot. They arrest him. They leave her there. Uh-huh. She gets a protective order blocking him from returning to the house.
To his house.
She's lived there a week.
Wow.
She has lived
and he's
there
not even allowed to come back.
And he's not allowed in his own house.
And he's been kicked in the face.
Yeah, and he's got a sore face. This isn't.
Let this be a lesson, you people. Don't let anybody live in your house from Craigslist.
Keep in mind, this isn't a friend of his.
No.
This isn't like my friend went
it's
a
a
little
fucking
wacky.
stranger from Craigslist.
A week ago, he didn't know her from fucking Adam. Never met her. Didn't know who she was.
He's
Probably
not a
doesn't
taekwondo
watch
fan.
Amateur taekwondo. Has no idea. And now he's being kicked in the face and barred from his own home. What the fuck is going on?
Unbelievable.
So about 10 days later, his friends and family, the guy who has the house, urges her to move out.
Yeah.
So after 10 days, she moves out. And when he gets back home, he returns to the home. According to the affidavit, all of his belongings were destroyed.
Yeah, she's been kicking shit for the past 10 days.
She kicked holes in the wall. Seriously, she was kicking shit everywhere.
She just rabbit kicking fucking walls.
Vandalism to the house of more than $7,000
Jesus.
of her just kicking the shit out of everything. So a few days later, she's arrested for a felony criminal mischief for wrecking that, among a couple other smaller charges. But that's the main one there. Holy shit. So, I mean, she's fucking, wow.
She's a monster.
At this point, she's unchained. I mean, she's unchained. She's wrecking her house, getting out. Now she's looking for another place to live.
She's furious.
Now she has nowhere else to live.
Right.
She's probably walking around, like, looking for ads and shit, walking up to shitty, like women's shelters and just boarding houses. Will you take me here? She walks around for so long.
I will kick you in the face if I can't stay here.
I'm saying, but you have not seen my kick. Walks around for so long, she gets hungry. She gets a little hungry. She smells something good, and she opens up a door, and it's the shawarma man. And he says, "How is it you've come to arrive here? What's wrong with you, man? I usually wait till later in story, more thing happen, but I'm gonna try to get ahead of this one. I'm gonna catch on the curve of the whole thing. I'm gonna get ahead of it. No, do not kick me in face. I was commando in army in my country. Do you know that? Now I have you want shawarma? I make for you, but then you have to go. What do you do? Why you kick hole in my wall? Go. I call police. You go. Sign say closed. Go. She's the first one who made the shawarma man call the police.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't control this woman.
He got in early like Gene.
He did. Oh, wow. That was awful.
Boom.
That was a terrible joke, but I'll take it. It's fine.
All right.
So, October 12th,
or
October of 2012, she posts online on thedirty.com, which is
a
gossip site. She's on there.
That's here. It's in Scottsdale. That was based here.
She posts him. This is her. We'll do it in their own words.
I love it. The Dirty Austin.
In their own words, quote, "The Dirty Army. Nick. My name is Mandy Meloon. I am an ex-Olympic USA Taekwondo athlete who was fired from the team for reporting rape and sexual abuse to the U.S. Olympic Committee. I am currently helping drunks, homeless, and abused women in Austin. I love your website and need help saving lives. For media story facts, Google Mandy Meloon, USA, TKD, scandal, etc. Thank God bless and love your website, and your family is beautiful."
Wow.
That's what she said. She starts.
Your family's beautiful. That's the guy that's married to Lorenzo Lamas' daughter.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That's why his family's beautiful.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because he's an ugly fucking troll.
He is, actually.
He's
I saw his picture. Yeah, he's not a
man.
handsome man.
No. And he judges women. He's such a piece of shit.
Exactly.
That guy
and
sucks.
He says she loves him. She just says,
did he
great.
respond?
No, it did. But, but it was on the page, and a bunch of other people responded, like, this is bullshit.
He usually responds to him with, like, oh, what a scumbag. Really? Look at your face, you fuck.
Yeah, well, there's more coming here, too, with this whole thing. November 26, 2012, Mandy is arrested in Harris County, Texas. She was apparently pulled over.
Yeah.
She's arrested for theft, failure to maintain financial restitution, which is for last year's vandalism,
for the melee,
destroying a guy's house,
the fucking tornado kicks.
Might have been a class action with the shawarma man with his holes in the walls. You never know. And also expired inspection certificate in her car. That's why I figure she was pulled over. That's what they got her for. December 4th, 2012. This is 8 days later. She's arrested on some kind of warrant to apprehend. It's a failure to appear of some kind in Texas. I'm not sure. Whoa. I mean, this shit is coming hard and fucking heavy.
Yeah.
Now, 2015, she returns to San Angelo to live with her family and try to pull her life back together.
Okay.
And to give birth to a daughter.
What?
Oh, yeah. She's going to have a kid.
Who did she have sex with?
I don't know,
and she probably doesn't either.
They fucking slipped one past her shin guards, because this is, they got her good here. So
that's great.
She has a daughter named Mia. She's trying to make a better life for her daughter. She's good now.
Okay.
It's all in the past. It's behind me. All in the past. I don't think she's going to have another problem from here on out.
I don't believe you.
2015, she files a Change.org petition about Jean Lopez. It's to remove Jean Lopez from all positions and revoke all of his taekwondo, all of his memberships in USA Taekwondo. It had 182 supporters. I guess the goal was 200. It says 18 away from 200. She says, quote, "My name is Mandy Patricia." I'm not going to do in their own words. Mandy Patricia Meloon. I was a U.S. national team member in the sport of Taekwondo from the age of 13 to 27 years. I met Jean Lopez at a junior camp at the USLC junior camp right there. I should know better. No fucking camps named Junior. When she was 13. He says she started. Every
story has a junior. He is.
He started sexually harassing me at that camp, and it continued in the form of sexual assault, physical assault, verbal abuse, mental, emotional abuse, exploitation, slander, forced labor, stalking, blackmail, and the loss of my spot in the last 4 Olympic Taekwondo teams. Wow.
That's a heavy allegation.
It really is. She said
Jesus.
She wants it to be a safe place for male or female athletes to get support. Most important when the abuse is reported, it needs to be reported to the police.
Yes.
Which is fair. I agree with that also. She says she has suffered from depression and post-traumatic stress disorder about the whole thing. She says USA Taekwondo and USOC officials, she had to be hospitalized in 2015 after discussing this whole thing with the details of her assault with a reporter, and now we're really going to get into her unraveling and being in and out of institutions and everything else.
No.
Oh boy. 2015, 3 women sued USA Taekwondo for the USO and the USOC for allegedly failing to protect them from sexual abuse by Mark Geitelman, a Taekwondo coach who was convicted earlier that year of abusing 2 girls.
Wow.
So it's just systemic. It's systemic. April 15th. 2015, Mandy posts on Vice magazine and Vice Network.
She's telling everybody.
She don't give a fuck.
This is great.
She posts on their Facebook wall asking for help. She says, "We need help." Posts the link to the Change.org petition, because there's a new one up too now that's, I think, still going. She says, quote, "You guys are my favorite. Can you help us write something? Stop the abuse. Please comment and share and make a difference."
God, she's got to throw a compliment into every complaint. You know, like she's like, "You guys are the best.
You guys are the best.
Nick's not the best anymore. I love you guys now.
Now you guys are the shit."
Dirty Army can eat dicks. You guys are the best.
So they had this lawsuit going that they were suing the 3 women I told you about here. They filed they filed that. They sue them. That in November of 2015, the USOC, the United States Olympic Committee, are dismissed as defendants in the case, but the women are going to appeal this decision. Now, at this point, we must talk about her Twitter feed.
Okay.
First of all, I found, and this was her, Mandy's, M-A-N-D, at M-A-N-D-E-E-Z 81.
Oh, no.
81.
She took the D's nuts and put it in her name?
That account she never used.
Okay.
She joined in 2009, but never tweeted anything. She follows no one, but has one follower.
Okay.
A guy whose handle is at Brandon Messon, who follows 620 people and has 2 followers. So... Not going great, Brandon Meson here. Don't follow him.
His Twitter account sucks.
No, he just looks at women. That's his whole thing. And he looks like a scumbag, the guy too. Anyway, sorry, Brandon, but you kind of do.
That's what you look like.
But if you look further and keep going, I found at Meloon _ Mandy with the profile name of Mia and Mandy. Mia, her
That's
daughter.
her.
There's a picture of her and her daughter. And I didn't know for sure if it was her until I went all the way back to September 11th, 2015 on her feed to find a tweet about Stephen Lopez. And I said, oh, it's her now.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, there she is.
There's our girl.
July of 2015, she's in a psych ward. She's in a psych ward.
No.
How do I know?
Yeah.
June 30th, she tweets, quote, just chilling in a psych ward in Big Springs, Texas. What are y'all doing for the next 2 weeks? Okay. July 2nd, just got some clothes from the psych ward's fashion closet, quote unquote. Yes, people have actually died in these. Ew.
Oh,
That's
my
what
God.
She says.
What the fuck?
Ew, with like a face with a question mark thing. Yeah. And then it says, check out my Facebook, Mia Olivia Meloon Reel. So I don't know if that's her, like, whatever. Next one's my favorite. Also, July 2nd. This is a tremendous tweet right here. This is my favorite.
It's a great use of 140 characters.
I love it.
I can't wait.
It is shit. Whose dick do I have to punch to get out of this psych ward? Last one I was in, I put one in the cardiac arrest and beat up for self-defense. So
she made a man's heart stop.
Apparently
that's fucking awesome.
She punched a man's dick until his circulatory system ceased working. That's amazing.
Who do I have to punch in the dick?
To get out of this psych world. Last one I was in, I put one in cardiac arrest and beat up for self-defense. With a heart after that, by the way. She put a fucking heart. She put a fucking heart after it. There's a goddamn heart. That is amazing.
She's amazing. She's
the
fucking
best.
Poet. That's fantastic.
You have to admire her at this point.
How do you? By the way, you don't punch dicks to get out of psych wards.
No,
that's what
how
gets
you get
you
into psych wards. So she's apparently out. She's apparently out by July 30th. Because she tweets, quote...
She found a dick to punch.
Apparently so, because it's a picture of her and her very, very young-looking daughter. Like, it seems like she had the baby, and then they said she's nuts, pulled the baby away from her and put her in a psych ward. I'm not even shitting
That's
you.
hilarious.
That's what, like, she needs some help because this baby looks fucking newborn.
Oh, boy.
And her tweet is, quote, God is good. Please pray Maria and I are united. Thank you, heart. So
maybe that's
she has her kid back.
Maybe that's an old picture.
No, that's from then. She got her kid back. She got out of the psych ward and she's holding her baby.
Maria?
Or Mia. I said Maria. I apologize. Please pray Mia and I are united. So she's like, this is great. Not pray that we will be. Pray.
Oh, she's saying, please pray for us because we are united.
Isn't
my
great?
God.
That's what she says.
That's great.
God is good. I have my baby. Okay?
Oh, my God.
Now, September 4th, 2015, she tweets, quote, gotta love getting the news your new roommate just got out of prison. FML, fuck my life. Headed for the hills. Fuck Angelo. Ew. I don't know who Angelo is, but fuck him. Fuck him. Fucking new roommate just got out of prison.
Holy
fuck her life.
shit.
Where are the hills? Sorry, honey, you're in Texas. There are no fucking hills.
No.
Good luck. You got about 1,000 miles that way. Enjoy. Either direction.
15 hours each way. It's all fucking flat.
She tweets like a mad person.
Really?
For all of September, all of early September. I mean, super, super just tweeting constantly, tweeting songs, videos.
Really?
She's like tweeting links to everything. She's one of these people where you'd be like, Jesus, and unfollow in a second.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. She does this up until September 12th, 2015. We'll find out why. On September 11th... On September 11th, one good thing I'm going to say about her right here, I like her for this. She did post a YouTube link to a video of Lawrence Taylor's greatest tackles.
Oh, nice.
And with a caption that says boom.
Yeah.
So with like four fucking O's. So you know what? She does have good taste.
She likes but
Lawrence
she's
Taylor.
tweeting about New York on September 11th and saying, boom,
Maybe that's
calm
why.
down,
oh,
bitch.
yeah, no shit.
Take it easy.
Last tweet that we see of her on her entire feed is from September 12th, 2015, and it is, quote, sad with a sad face, boo-hoo me. Okay. Let's find out what might have caused that. Okay. September 12th, 2015. Meloon here. She is in the Dead Horse Bar, which is at 210 South Chadbourne Street in Austin, where one of the bar employees asked her to leave and not return, which is fair.
Go home.
There is a Meloon fucking had none of that shit. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
I will punch you in the dick.
We have figured out when someone asks her to leave, she kicks them in the face.
Does not leave.
She's not taking that shit. She's returned pretty much immediately and entered again without permission. They don't want her there. Meanwhile, next door, there is a Tom Green County Sheriff's deputy named Syed Shah who was working off-duty security at the bar next door, which was Swatigo's bar. And he hears this whole commotion and learns from the other bouncer there's a big commotion next door. So he goes over. He's not even getting paid by these fucking people. He's like, Jesus Christ. He goes over, escorts Meloon out of the Dead Horse Bar, and attempts to detain her. It is at this point where she resists, screaming, no, 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 and becoming very combative. Shah said he attempted to give her he was trying to give her a warning. He wasn't even trying to arrest her.
He was trying to leave.
Stay out of the bar. And he was trying to give her a warning, not a ticket, a warning for criminal trespass. He said, please go home now. Go home to your house, sleep it off. The whole night could have been different. She keeps resisting, and at some point in the interaction, she punches him in the face twice with a closed fist.
Wow.
She socks him twice in the face before he can react to it. She's
a loose cannon.
I would say Shah proceeds to try to apprehend her by ordering her to place her hands behind her back for handcuffs. At this point, he says that she continued to kick at him. Hard, obviously, trained, and use her fingernails to claw at his face.
Oh, you're terrible.
She is fucking losing
She's fighting dirty.
her mind. She is fighting like the Puerto Rican girls in high school used to fight when I'd watch them and be like, holy
tearing
shit.
clumps of hair out.
Oh, they would.
Just
jewelry,
crazy.
Earrings out of their heads. It was crazy. So Shah at this point calls for backup. Backup comes, and eventually, after there's multiple cops there, it takes to subdue her with handcuffs on the ground and then take her to county jail.
Boo-hoo me.
Boo-hoo me. Now, I would like to point out, in her mugshot for this, ear-to-ear smile.
Really?
Ear-to-ear smile. I have a joke, Jimmy.
She did it, and she fucking meant it.
I have a joke.
He deserved it.
Joke about mugshots. Yeah, men, they always, if it's assault, they always have their shirts off. Women, if it's assault, they're always smiling. That motherfucker deserved it. They're not upset
sorry.
for what happened. They're not sorry for one goddamn minute. It's exactly how they wanted this night to turn out. It's all good. So she's smiling in the mug. So that just made me, I love that so much. So January 2016, Steven Lopez is told that there's a complaint against him with USA Taekwondo.
Again?
No details given, but we'll get the details. Now, February 13, 2016, Mandy, who's just turned 35 at this point, appears in front of a judge and pleads guilty to assault of a public servant, which is a third-degree felony. Next day, February 14th, she is sentenced to 2 years in prison.
Holy shit.
The Texas Department of Criminal Justice. You, ma'am, may fuck off.
For sure.
Wow, that's rough. Her maximum date sentence to get out would be September 12, 2017. So she could not even be out yet.
Yeah.
But she does get out.
Okay.
She gets out here, as we'll find out.
Maximum date.
Yeah. She also says on her thing, I found her file from the actual inmate thing. It says the offender is temporarily ineligible for visitation.
Whoa.
Like they're like, just keep people the fuck away from her, basically.
Put this bitch in a cell and calm her down.
I mean, Jesus Christ, she's punching cops, roommates.
Jesus, she doesn't care.
Menace. She's got a daughter. She's tweeting God knows what. I feel bad for all these people,
no
Jimmy.
Kidding.
I feel bad for all these people. But not nearly as bad as I feel for Mandy Meloon, a private investigator.
What?
On LinkedIn, a private investigator at Blackstone Security and Investigations in, guess where? Austin, Texas.
Get out
it's
of
fucking
here.
her.
No,
it's
she's
her.
a private investigator.
She's a fucking private investigator now somehow. I don't think this is true, though, because we'll find out in a minute where she is at the very moment. But that's the LinkedIn.
Hilarious.
If it's not her, some poor lady named Mandy Meloon from Austin, everyone thinks you're nuts.
Unbelievable.
Sorry. No one's going to hire you to investigate shit. March 24th, 2016, Mandy is transferred to a halfway house.
Yeah.
Now, 2016 Olympics, by the way, they let Steven Lopez and Jean Lopez take part in the 2016 Olympic Games.
They got to stop this.
Absolutely. Even though there is an investigation at the time into sexual misconduct by both men that date back several years. March 2017, U.S. Taekwondo sends out a memo urging trainers to get education on how to prevent sexual assault.
How about not let the ones that are doing it be coaches?
That's a
what
start.
The fuck?
Don't climb into bed with teenage girls after drinking with them. There's a lot of shit. June 9th, 2017, shit hits the fucking fan.
Really?
The brothers here, Stephen and Jean, are accused of sexually assaulting several women now, multiple women. Stephen, who's 38 at the time here, and Jean, according to, this is a USA Today article that had this whole thing, they were first accused of sexual misconduct 2 years earlier, but they just ran the investigation, still let him go coach in Rio, which is nuts. USA Taekwondo's investigating attorney, David Alperstein, contacted the FBI after his internal investigation. Yeah. He made the decision to go to law enforcement. He said March 22nd in a letter obtained by the newspaper, he says to the Olympic people, he says, quote, because so much misconduct occurred in multiple jurisdictions, he felt the Lopez brothers needed to be removed from the sport.
Yeah.
This is the guy investigating. Yeah. It's unclear how many exactly how many women the brothers abused.
That's terrible.
But it's at least 4 came forward with this complaint. Jean Lopez says, quote, I've never been inappropriate with anyone. His brother says he's never sexually assaulted or engaged in untoward sexual behaviors with any of these accusers. Stephen Lopez says, quote, I've never, nothing at all. Like he can't even get words out. Said nothing that.
Nothing at all. Skittles.
This is what he says.
He's just saying random shit.
Quote, I've never, nothing at all, nothing like that, nothing close to that. That's what he said. Just non sequiturs. Non sequitur.
He's so flustered.
Wow. In addition to the notifying the FBI, he also told other authorities that the brothers, quote, may have committed sex crimes involving minors. So that's a thing now, too. The USA Taekwondo consulted with the governing bodies on the Lopez investigations before they let him go to Rio, but they still let him go to Rio. The official who talked about this spoke in condition of anonymity. Let's see, Heidi Gilbert. She competed internationally from 99 to 03, and Mandy are the 2 women who will publicly come out and say who they are. The other ones want to remain anonymous. They spoke on the record. 2 other, like I said, they requested anonymity. Gilbert was a gold medalist in the Pan American Games in 2002, bronze medalist in 98. She said that Jean Lopez drugged her and sexually assaulted her.
Holy shit.
Gilbert said that she began occasionally training with the Lopezes when she was 16 and moved to Houston with them to train full-time when she was 20 in 2003. While they were at the 2002 Pan American Games in Ecuador, Gilbert said she and Diana Lopez were with Jean Lopez in his hotel room after the competition. That's his little sister, Diana. Diana Lopez left the room and Jean shut the door. Gilbert then says that he threw her on the bed. She thought they were just wrestling, but she alleges he started to rub against her and simulated intercourse while they were. He dry humped her. Yeah. He starts fucking dry humping her. The following year at the World Championships in Germany, Gilbert, Jean Lopez, and other U.S. members were at a party following the competition. Gilbert says Lopez gave her a drink, and within 15 minutes, she says she was completely incapacitated. Sort of aware of her surroundings, but unable to move or speak. So he roofied her now. Yeah. So that's a dry hump and a roofie. Yeah. He's up fucking 2. He's up
double down, and
he's up pretty 2 hot charges on that one. She says at this point that Lopez took her in a cab to the team hotel where he choked and slapped her.
Oh my God!
Performed oral sex on her and penetrated her with his finger. Unable to have intercourse because he couldn't get her pants off, he rubbed his dick between her legs instead. That's what he
fucked her thighs. What a creep!
Just fucking. She says
what
about this. Poor Gilbert says, "quote I could feel everything that was going on. I was pretty out of it, but I definitely knew I couldn't move. I couldn't respond because you've been roofied, you poor woman here." Gilbert said that Lopez told her repeatedly on the plane home that he didn't remember anything that happened the previous night, and he must have blacked out. So he's trying to cover his tracks, like, ooh, last night was crazy,
What did we do last night? That was bananas.
Gene, for his part, says, quote, I've never been inappropriate with Heidi. I can't say anything negative about her. She was my athlete. I was her coach, but I've never been inappropriate with her. Gilbert left the sport after the second incident.
Weird.
She didn't make any complaints to USA Taekwondo, but she did tell Meloon and two others teammates about it right after it happened.
She's fucking scarred. That's why.
Exactly.
Jesus.
She just wanted out of there.
Thing.
She's on the road trapped with this guy. All three of these women confirmed her account of that she told them right away. About 2 years later, she got a call from Asking Ass asking if she was going to file a complaint. If not, Asking Ass told her that she needed to keep quiet. Either file a complaint or shut the fuck up, he said, basically, this silver-haired, middle-aged asshole.
I hope somebody punches him in the dick.
Gilbert said, quote, he was, let her punch him in the dick to get her out of this.
That guy deserves it.
That'll get her out of the psych ward for me anyway. She says, quote, he was basically calling me to tell me to shut up. He said, these are really big allegations against Gene and could really affect his life and career. Well, no shit.
Well, you know what else can? Fucking raping a child.
Yeah. Another woman, third woman, who was a member of the junior national team, says she was drugged 3 times and that Stephen Lopez had sex with her while she was unconscious on one of those occasions. She requested anonymity, but unbelievable. One of the unnamed women alleges that, like Gilbert, she was drugged and assaulted, but by Stephen Lopez, like this one did. So this is a thing that they do. They both said they're doing it. It's apparently, allegedly or whatever, but it's there's a lot of shit backing this up here.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. You know what I mean? Like with Cosby, like there's just too many. At some point, it's like there's too many saying the same thing.
That's the thing. It's Cosby.
I want to fight Asking Ass so bad.
Don't you want to kick his silver ass
shit out of that man?
Shit, man. I guarantee you, I can tell you exactly what he looks like too. Recruited. Another one.
He looks like Bobby Knight, that motherfucker.
Probably exactly
he looks
like
just
that.
like Bobby Knight.
More like Sandusky and Knight mixed together. That's what I picture. With the little dumpier like Sandusky.
Little creepy face. And fuck you, Asking Ass.
Another woman who was recruited to join the Lopez's gym when she was only 13. She and her mother both remember Stephen Lopez, who was 11 years older than her, taking an interest in her from the first day that they met him at camp at 11 years old. Or when she was 13 years old, I'm sorry. She said that they first had consensual sex the day after she turned 17. The woman says that she and Lopez would occasionally have sex over the next 5 years, but never dated. So he was also banging around on Mandy.
That's a 28-year-old having sex with a 17-year-old. Yeah. That is fucking creepy.
That's very creepy.
Whether or not it's legal, I don't give a shit. That's creepy.
Yeah, she's a teenager. Yeah. She should be in high school, not at some Olympic training ground being fucking raped by a coach.
A 28-year-old.
Yeah, same woman here. She says that when she was 18, she was drugged while at a party with friends and Stephen Lopez. After she woke up vomiting, she had a friend take her home. On the drive, the woman says that the friend told her she had sex with Stephen Lopez. She says, quote, the last thing I remember is standing in a living room playing pool, and then the next thing I remember, I'm being driven home, and I'm not being able to see straight. About 2 years later, the woman says that Stephen Lopez told her that after she had sex with him that night, he left the bedroom to get water and returned to find her friend who had driven her home having sex with her. So he says that not only did he do it, but the other guy who drove you home also had sex with you.
Oh, my God.
This whole thing is a fucking disaster.
Oh, Jesus.
It's nuts. It's like the end of Kids. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, just lay still, baby. It's just Casper. It's just me, Casper.
That's right.
Fuck you, Casper Lopez.
She said that Lopez said that he had no idea and he was blacked out all night. And she said, and he kind of looked at me funny and goes, well, you seemed awake and fine to me, she said.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That's a fucking horrible thing to say.
Jesus. Stephen Lopez denied the allegation, called it shocking. He says shocking because it's absolutely in no way true.
There's way too many people saying you do this shit, Stephen.
It's a lot of people saying you're doing the exact same thing. It's a lot. It's just a lot.
You know how many people have accused me of raping them or drugging them and raping them?
Not a lot.
Fucking zero.
Yeah,
zero.
Yeah, I don't put myself in that situation a lot, which is nice. I try not to rape anybody. Yeah. It's worked out good for me so far. It's worked out really well. Like,
fucking batting 1,000, babe.
It's worked so far, man. The one girl said, quote, I'm glad it's a process because my hopes are that the reason it's taking so long is because they're really formulating a valid argument and getting as many people involved as possible. On the flip side, it kind of makes you wonder, are they going to get away with it like always? So that's what they're saying here. Another fourth woman said that she had a consensual relationship with Gene when she was in her 20s, but on one occasion he forced himself on her when she didn't want to have sex.
Of course.
So that happens.
Kind of his thing.
That's kind of his thing that he does, allegedly.
From the evidence, that's his MO. I mean,
USA Taekwondo told USA Today that this, quote, it, quote, places tremendous importance on protecting and preserving the safety of our athletes. Well, you do a shit job at it.
You're not good at this.
Now the family, there's a big celebrity family. They're the royalty in this particular sport. They win medals and everything else. Basically, this has convinced both Gilbert, Heidi Gilbert and Meloon and the unnamed women that probably nothing is going to happen.
Nothing.
She says that because Meloon also says that Steven Lopez, while they were dating, they had a physical confrontation in 2004 at his parents' house. She said that he followed her home to her apartment and broke in her house through a window.
Yeah.
She said, quote, he held me down and sexually assaulted me. To 2005 World Championships, Mandy says that Lopez shoved her and then jumped on her chest, cracking a rib the night before she was supposed to compete. Steven Lopez, quote, allegedly also punched her in the face and physically assaulted her in front of his family. He says, he of course says it's not true at all. She says she felt trapped because there was nowhere else to train at that high a level other than to stay with the Lopez's.
Wow.
So this is a fucking mess. We have an in their own words on her whole feelings on this. In their own words, quote, that's why I also knew that by reporting everything, I was hoping that they would do something about it, but I kind of knew it wasn't going to end well for me. But I had to do it. It was the right thing to do. Fine.
They're the Mannings of getting accused of crimes against children.
Just
that's what they are.
Children, women, teenagers in their 20s. Heidi Gilbert said, quote, honestly, I don't feel like they're going to do anything about it. I just feel like it's going to continue to get swept under the rug. But in a statement, the USOC spokesman, you know what his name is?
What is it?
Patrick Sandusky.
Oh, no way.
His fucking name is Sandusky. That's the only reason I'm putting his quote in there. Because I'm like, his name is Sandusky. And what he says is amazing as a Sandusky quote. Preventing and responding to sexual abuse is something we take incredibly seriously.
Not as a Sandusky, you don't.
It's why we founded the independent U.S. Center for Safe Sport to investigate and adjudicate alleged allegations of sexual misconduct in the sport. Sandusky said that, which is hilarious.
That's great. Now we do. Today we do.
The delay in investigation that they were complaining about, Alperstein, the investigator, you know why he found out the delay has taken place? Quote, because Gene and Steven have been around for so long and have interacted with so many athletes despite huge effort, it's having a lot of trouble putting a panel together because either athletes don't want to be involved or because Lopez's lawyer objects they can't be neutral. That's what initially stalled the case against Steven. So they're just stalling it out, doing their deal.
Bastards.
Here.
You know how podcasts have gotten cases further? I want
Serial,
this
undisclosed.
I want this to do that to these fucking guys.
I hope
these bastards suffer for this.
We'll probably just get sued. That's what ends up happening. We'll get sued. No one will know us.
We haven't accused them of anything.
Podcast One will drop us. I guess they can sue Podcast One now. So if you want to sue us, refer that over to Podcast One now because they're our network. So you can sue them up nicely. Please don't sue Podcast One. We really want to make a good impression and do a good job here. So right away, there's fluff pieces about this.
Unbelievable.
MundoTaekwondo.com runs a big article on how great the Lopez brothers are and what you can do to support them. Literally, this is how you support the Lopez brothers. Gene says this is completely false. They are trying to ruin our reputation. It is the price of being number one in the world. It sounds like fucking Trump talking.
Yeah,
that sounds like Trump tonight. So it's false. They just want to ruin my administration. When you're the best, that's what people do.
There's going to be people that come forward that say we're terrible.
And that's not a political statement.
We're the best in the world.
It's not a political statement. You can love Trump, and that's why you love him because he says that, or you hate him because he says shit like that. Either one, but you know he fucking says shit like that. So.
He just said they hate us because they ain't us. That's what he just said. Fuck you.
June 13th, 2017, there's USA Today article here that says, quote, of course Steven and Gene Lopez are innocent until proven guilty, and they have the right to defend themselves in this process. But with such troubling information available to them, Olympic authorities must err on the side of caution. They cannot let Steven Lopez get on that plane because it's a big national thing. No shit. Okay, let's wrap it up with this craziness here. June 15th, 2017. This is the week of this happening. The assistant administrator of the Austin Transitional Medical Center, Michael Caven, tells police that Mandy had come back to the center after she had previously been taken to an Austin hospital for mental health treatment for exposing herself during a mental health episode somewhere.
No, Mandy.
She's losing it, man. She returned to the Austin Transitional Center, and Caven said that she told him she was seeing and hearing things that weren't present.
Oh, fuck.
Like, I wonder if she has brain damage, too. She has been kicked in the fucking head a lot, too, which doesn't help.
She had her face broken.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, obviously, she might be psychologically scarred, things that happened to her, who knows, or whatever. But she's been kicked in the face a shitload since she was 8 years old, so you never know.
Does she
here.
show like her Meloons or like her Meloon?
It doesn't say.
You know what I mean?
Which Meloon is she showing? Which
part is she exposing?
She got a huge
Did she
Meloons.
moon somebody? Like
we don't. No, it was during a mental health episode, so I could see her just stripping it off or whatever.
Just like, look at these.
Now she's saying that she can't. She's seeing and hearing things that aren't there.
Oh, fuck.
Caven then calls in a community health paramedic to assess her. Upon evaluating her for about an hour, a team member from a mobile crisis outreach center was called to assist with transporting her somewhere else. While they're waiting for her arrival, Mandy asks the paramedic if she could get some air. So at that point, she walks past him to get some air. She runs outside the facility and toward another inmate, or another client, they call them, at the center, and goes over and knocks into her, smacks the woman's water cup out of her hands, and tore up the paper she had.
Jesus.
Like, what, motherfucker? I'll do that too. Losing it.
She's crazy now.
So, this upset this person, who then began chasing Mandy around, throwing punches at her, and missing. This is a crazy thing. So at this point, the Caven guy comes over, and we're able to break them up and calm them down. It's just batshit. There's papers being torn, punches being thrown. Caven says that that they told Mandy to sit on the ground. She got back up again. So this other person who worked there grabbed her by the arm to keep her from fleeing and to try to subdue her. And then she, quote, put his right thumb in a thumb lock, punched him in the right side of the abdomen, and attempted to repeatedly knee him in the groin.
Jeez.
So she's just striking, going after strikes.
She's fighting everybody.
She said, the guy who was assaulted here said that he was able to get her on the ground in order to prevent another assault, but said that she later, quote, tried to donkey kick him in the groin, but missed. This is amazing.
She kicked backward into his dick.
She's unreal. That's what I mean. This is nuts.
So I got to ask you, for all of this, I'm seeing it this way. I'm just going to say how I see it. I see a young girl who went through this fucking amazing story arc and was supposed to be successful, but she got fucked up in between.
Yeah,
Because of the mental abuse, physical abuse,
and you get brain damage mixed in,
and then
you
people
get this,
don't believe her, and she goes off the hinges, drinking
this
and
has been
drugging.
The whole theory the whole time.
And then we get to the end, and she's a fucking mess.
She's in her late 30s
Thanks
and
a lot,
completely
US
unraveled.
Taekwondo.
Yeah, thanks.
You fucking
destroyed
jerks.
a person, and this happened to several of these girls who are in their mid-30s trying to get their lives together.
You're ruining children and making them adults.
Dickheads. So documents also say that other staff members on site arrived. They subdued her eventually. She was charged with assaulting a public servant. Her bond was set at $10,000. It's also a violation of her parole for assaulting the cop before. Austin police took her into custody. She in the arrest affidavit, it even talks about her skills. It says, quote, so her skills in strikes and control techniques are more advanced than most people and capable of causing severe damage.
She put a guy in a thumb lock, for fuck's sake. Can you do that? I can't do that.
Not on the fly.
I don't know how to do that.
So 2017, as of right now, you'll be happy to know the Elite Taekwondo Center that Jean Lopez ran is closed down, according to Yelp. Still 6 locations in California. If you cannot get enough of Mandy Meloon, I don't blame you. Yeah. You can order the spring 2000 issue of U.S. Taekwondo Journal magazine with Mandy on the cover.
Fantastic.
Email info@ma-mags.com, and you can order that. I have no idea how much it was because it doesn't fucking matter. That is Mandy Meloon. What a crazy story for our first episode on Podcast One.
Mandy.
Guys, thank you for listening to this craziness. Please get on iTunes and give us a review if that's not enough for you. If you've reviewed us and you're like, what more can I do? Yeah. You can get on patreon.com/CrimeInSports, and you can make a donation there or a one-time donation at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com.
Those are them.
You can also get a hold of us on social media. everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, at Crime and Sports, Facebook.com/Crime and Sports, crimeandsports@gmail.com. Jimmy, why don't you tell us these fine people who have been so nice to us and donated to us and gave us things and were just awesome. Who are they?
Kirk Withrow sent us some fan art that I snapped so you guys can see it. We'll put it on the social media accounts also. It's fucking amazing. He sent it through the mail, and the mail demolished the frame and broke all the glass in it. But thankfully, the picture's intact, and it's beautiful, and it's all four of the characters.
I love it, man.
It's amazing. He did a great job.
He really did.
Bobby Colorado has a German Shepherd with him. It's fantastic.
It's great. It's beautiful.
Kirk, you did a great job, so thank you, Mr. Withrow. The other one is William H. Dawson. The story is fantastic. The man was listening to, which one was it?
Otis Nixon.
Otis Nixon got him fired from work because he was listening.
Suspended.
Oh, yeah, suspended.
He ran his excavator into a pickup truck because he was laughing about Otis Nixon. But it's okay because they suspended him for a Thursday, Friday, so he was like, thanks for the long weekend, guys.
Appreciate it. Out of this one.
Awesome.
So thanks, William H. Dawson.
Sorry
thanks
to get
for
you in
listening,
trouble.
Man. Blair Hollerby, Ben Richards, Laura Culpepper, Allison Hilliard, Nadia Reinicke. Nadia, you're terrific. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sherry Bryant, Stephanie Dietrich, Brendan and Victoria Dijorak.
We'll say that.
Tammy Collier, Alana Spano, Stephen Lick.
All right.
Or Leak, or like.
Either way.
Stephen, you're a good dude.
Stephen.
Jess Landgren in Australia sent us another donation. Thank you, Jess. Appreciate you. Molly Hewitt, Tolly Crabtree. Jesus. I'm terrible at this. Leslie Woodruff, Grayson Lamb, Jamie Doring, Grayson listens to, he found us from Time Suck, and he went and saw Dan down in Florida, and that's how he knows about us. He's a good dude. So thanks, Grayson. Lindsay Smith, Kimberly Wilkerson, and Jaybird Wedbetter. Dude, you came through. You got into Patreon. Thanks, Jaybird. Appreciate
Thank you, man. Thank you
so much. It's about time, Wedbetter, you bastard.
Love you, Thank you. He's been touting us as much as humanly possible otherwise.
He got on to Anthony Cumia and talked about us. So.
He'll get on anywhere he can. He tweets at people. He's awesome.
A good dude.
And we really, really appreciate that.
You guys have been amazing, so thank you so much.
Yeah, it is. You guys have been the crime and sports movement, and you still are. Don't stop now just because we got on a network, because we still
That didn't change anything.
It doesn't change shit.
We're just trying to get more of you.
We're still a little indie operation that we just posted to a site that has big podcasts with famous people that all live in big houses, way bigger than ours, and all have health insurance.
I guarantee we're the poorest on that network.
I said we are the most successful poor podcasters on the face of the fucking earth. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you no one.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country, who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.